I always want to do something. I always want to help my people.
Made up by federal government, mainstream media.
I'm gonna tell them what.
Ain't right, man, ain't right.
You know what I mean?
I think it's time for you to hear the truth.
Tell the truth, man.
Every nation, in every region, now has a decision to make.
Hey yo. They don't like my songs. Bush came to my yard, he wants to take me on. From the most high, I'm like, yo, it's on. Devil's in my face, Pop, don't be long.
All you need is spice and soul. Have no fear, my son, my kingdom you own. 400 years, no knowledge of your home. Now is your chance to reclaim your throne.
Okay, Pop, yeah, no doubt. I'll buzz you back once I'm taking it out. But he reckons I got weapons, what's he talking about? I don't like the way the devil's running his mouth.
Now watch that, it's just an excuse. See, they don't like you, son, cause you tell the truth.
Hey, yo, Pop, United Nations turned up. They wanna search my yard till I f*** them up.
Nah, son, you leave them to me. Now you deal with that caution, call it pal facile. I got fire for them bad side for those who oppose me. Hurricane, tornadoes, earthquakes, you'll see.
Exodus, the devil we no like. See we left from Rome upon the star line. Sir Marcus Garvey upon my mind. So we left upon the black star line. Exodus, the devil we no like. See we left from Rome upon the star line. Sir Marcus Garvey upon my mind. So we left upon the black star line.
I'm interested in the truth, and the truth is what I will pursue.
We have to recognize who our major enemy is.
The biggest challenge before you right now is, who is the enemy?
Life is becoming increasingly miserable for everybody. But when they find out who it is that's causing the trouble.
I will tell you what the mainstream media will not tell you.
That the Jewish people control the media.
People need to get out of denial very quickly, because your children are being poisoned, you're being poisoned, children are being indoctrinated and programmed and turned into software programs at school, you're being poisoned in the air, you've been poisoned from the sky, poisoned in your food, poisoned in your water, poisoned by vaccine. How bad does it have to get before people in vast numbers realize that the world ain't like they thought it was?
I'm talking to you. The principle and the idea was divide and rule, divide and conquer. $1 billion a week spent on war. 15 million Americans are homeless in the street. We can build Iraq and Afghanistan, but leave you with nothing.
You have to come together. There has to be a foundation of unity before you to get anywhere, especially if you're black in this country.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing else.
I want you to hear me.
Yeah!
Speak the truth regardless of circumstance and stand up on the truth from the cradle to the grave.
Rebels on some dirty way. Yo, the murder was the case they gave. And it was just the other day when they stepped out the caucus man in caves. The murder's undercover blood. But guess what? They slipped up. The people are starting to wake up, and as soon as we get together, they ain't here to apologize for the outcry while we're on the genocide. Till today, from the time we arrived, Mother Africa is still dripping blood from her eyes. Ain't tiptoeing around my words. I'ma tell the truth to their hurts, and I'ma keep spreading love to the peace. But right now, I'ma drop the truth on the verse, and I'ma dismiss unrighteousness. My backside, they can kiss, they can't handle this. I got a long list of brains with power fists who insist government's taking a piss.
Exodus, the devil we no like. See we left from Rome upon the star line. Sir Marcus Garvey upon my mind. So we left upon the black star line. Exodus, the devil we no like. See we left from Rome upon the star line. Sir Marcus Garvey upon my mind. So we left upon the black star line.
Yo, come let me bust the things for all you hustling. I might scuff your Tims how I'm busting in. The fight I'm struggling on some other thing. Head wrap and skull cap, I call my brother king. Wagwanin and you know that. It's like a prison wing how we keep the show pack, I don't hold back. Radio, play my whole track. Most cats listen close as phone taps. There's no black in the Union Jack Britain. Flows pierce ears like guns with studs in them. Count bars like you're stuck in prison. Count scars on a body that's slug-ridden. It's the fusion of the ease, brews and ganja, giving these youths delusions of grandeur. and only a few who've left to have a stretch on the psychiatric wing. Return to the manor. I'm the one that rap for them people suffering. Try function in a world that's got no love for them. Enough of them would rather vote for Big Brother than both of them hypocrites that's in the government. Well, f them then. It's Emmanuel and Brother Ben.
Yeah. Exodus, the
Built into your entire life. There's something wrong. You don't know what it is, but it's there, like a splinter.
You think the US don't have weapons of mass destruction?
You really want us to go to war? It's a general idea. With who? I'm working on it.
Yes, Jumbo, Otet, Peace, Salama. This is Genesis Radio. My name is SAYSHARA. I'm here for the next couple of hours and beyond. And I want to say, Ra willing that you're in good spirits, you're in the best of health, and life is definitely treating you well. Of course, I would apologize for the delay. Couldn't get access to the studio, and whatever happens, you know, Genesis is always going to be here. All right. Well, definitely have to apologize for the last couple of weeks, obviously, because there was some technical difficulties. And everything is, I would say, ongoing in progress. All right, so whatever happens, please keep it locked in here on www.genesisradio.co.uk and keep us locked in and tuned in. Let us know how we're sounding as per usual. And as far as I know, the telephone numbers, the link should be 07404367618, and that's for the text line. I'm not sure if that's working, but just give us a text, let us know how we're sounding, just to double checking everything's working. 07931276232. Let me know I'm sounding okay before I even go on and proceed to give out my usual conversations and discussions about our reality and how we perceive reality as a whole. Okay, and yeah, I mean, a lot of things are going on, and I'm interested to know what you're saying out there. Obviously, it's not just about me and what I'm saying. So let me see if I can just hook you up on this text line. Genesis Radio, let me just see if I'm hearing you. Hold on. Can't hear you. Still there. Hold on. Let me just check the line. Oh, I'm not hearing you. Nope. Definitely still not hearing you. Hold on. Right, it's definitely not working. Alright, just keep it locked. Earphones is definitely connected. And hold on. You still there? Give us a shout? No? Can't hear you. Nope, definitely still can't hear you. Something definitely coming out, but it's not happening right now. Hold on a minute, okay. Just stay there, stay there. See if I can hook you up. Okay, hold on. Alright, so alright, you're gone. Alright, so yeah, no, you're still there. Alright, keep it there, keep it locked. See if I can find a way to connect you. Obviously. Alright, best thing to do is just call back, alright, and see if I can sort something out in between, if you're hearing me. And because I don't think I can do anything right now. So just give me a couple of minutes, call me back and see if somehow I can hook you up. Alright. Other than that, I'm not going to be able to get you. Alright, so let me see what's happening. I can't see. Alright, just give us a couple more minutes, alright, and I'll see if I can get you on the phone lines. or everywhere, just let me know. Send me a text. Let me know how I'm sounding. Meanwhile, and we'll just get this whole thing going. All right. Okay. So yeah, definitely apologies for any technical difficulties here. Obviously, I'm working by myself. All right. Just coming to the studio, and obviously things ain't where they're supposed to be, and not sure why is this happening. Alright, so if I do this, just seeing if I can get some connections. Alright, so we can have action. Okay, so give us a call back whenever you get a chance and see if the phone line's definitely working. Alright, so we've got some sort of communication going. Alright, so look, I want to talk about a really big subject. It's not for everybody, but I'm talking about technology.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Still, you still there?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Caller.
The back one here.
Not
Can you hear me?
Hold on. Alright, so I'm not hearing you at all. Hold on. It's not happening, hold on.
How you sounding and stuff, yeah? Just want to tell you how you're sounding.
Hello? No, it's not happening.
I can hear you.
No. Hello, still there? No.
SAYSHARA?
No, it's not happening at all. I'm sorry, but
Yep.
still there? Hello? No, I can't hear you. I can't hear nothing at all, and
You can't hear me?
let's see.
Alright then.
I'm not sure if the cable's any good or what, but can't hear you. So looks like there's going to be no phone lines by the looks of it. So I definitely apologise for that delay, and just have to work without the phone lines for the moment. Alright.
Back?
Okay.
Happening, is it? Alright, listen, I will call back, yeah?
Alright, so apologies for that. Now, as I was saying, I wanted to talk about this whole business to do with the technological industry. Okay, now it's not a subject for everybody, but in light of that, there's so much things going on that we need to be clear about the kind of things that we're actually taking on, or that's been thrown at us, okay, or being pushed on us. And there's 3 subjects I want to touch on, okay. Recently you heard me talk about mind control devices and also wireless weapons, okay, such as Wi-Fi or your smartphones, okay. And what I want to be talking about, 3 things, okay. One of them is going to touch on vaccines, what vaccines are all about, or what is in your vaccine. And then I want to talk about looking at this whole thing to do with Wi-Fi or EMF, okay, which is electromagnetic fields or force or frequencies, and also up and coming what they're going to be talking about, 5G. Yeah. Now, before I even talk about anything, maybe I'll give an announcement out. Okay, just so give everybody a time to actually tune in to me right now. Okay. Eugene will be holding a regular African culture market, and this will be happening 2018, obviously just the next couple of weeks, okay? And slowly the year's actually running out, isn't it? Soon be looking at the 2019. Alright, so the next Hygiene African Culture Market is Sunday the 16th of October, on December, sorry. And right, look at my, and right, that's not happening. Right, hold on a minute. I'm not able to get the information. Alright, so look, that's not happening. I can't get these smartphones, they're not that smart when you want them to be smart, okay? But apparently the phone's not playing up. Okay, send me a text, whoever, Mighty Gene, if you ever get this message, just send me a text on the other number, which is 07931 276 okay? Right, okay, because I can't get a signal down there. Alright, so I'm not able to retrieve that information. Now, one other announcement that's really important that we need to be clear on, okay, is we need to be clear on actually about this petition called, or if you go to it, called Consult the People of Jamaica on the Intrusive ID System Before Rolling It Out. Okay, that was started off by Yvonne Williams, and I think it's important for us as black African people, as African Caribbean people, that we know what's going on in the Caribbean. We need to know what's going on in Africa. Okay, we need to be clear that when certain things are actually taking place, that we're aware of it and we understand what is going to be actually rolling out, okay, and what is the purpose of it. And I think one of these things that we need to be clear on is that we need to protect the rights of our people, so they're not having to suffer these types of injustices or these types of things that seem to target people's rights, or it tends to be oppressing or suppressing people, yeah? And I think this is really, really one of the things that we need to know about. Do some research on this petition about the biometric system, which is what's called NIDS, N-I-D-S, okay? So if you, for all those people that's locked in and tuned in, please sign the petition. Just go to Consult the People of Jamaica on the Intrusive ID System Before Rolling It Out, and that was started off by Yvonne Williams, okay? And well, I think I've talked about, if you want to make a comparison to that system, you can go to the one that's in India right now called Aadhaar, alright? And then you can make comparisons. You get to see that there are pitfalls and consequences to this system, from the short term to long term, all right? And one of the things that we need to be aware of, okay, especially in this time that we live in with all this information, and is that we need to protect our data, right? Because data information is very, very important, alright? Very, very important. And the way things are going right now, I'm going to tell you straight up, I've got some information that I want to play as well, just to feed you into actually what's going on to do with the technology, okay? And it's not a boring subject if you're really interested in things like this. It's not really boring. It's just that it's a bit technical, I think. It's not for everybody. I think a lot of people like science. And I think science is a beautiful subject, and I love technology. Maybe the problem that we have is how this technology is being used, okay? And how we need to weigh up what is natural and what is unnatural, okay? Because the technology out there nowadays is so advanced and so sophisticated and subtle that we may not be aware of the consequences of the technology that we are having to deal with every day in our lives, okay? And it's affecting our home environment and our outside environment, and practically everywhere we're going. So we need to be able to develop a kind of mindset to understand what is actually taking place and why is it taking place and what is the purpose of it. Yeah, I don't think that all technological inventions and innovations are really bad. I don't think so. I just think that unfortunately, just like some new inventions, people take these things on, they exploit it and they sell it, and it becomes part of how we actually socialize, how we relate, how we live our lives, okay? We don't think about whether or not these things are affecting us. Now, if you remembered, some of you, if you listen to that information, wireless warfare exposed, okay, if you can go there, you can YouTube this information. A lot of people's on social media, and I think like social media has its effects of our experiences of how we can connect to the world, okay? And I think it's a really valuable feature. I think it's important that we can connect to any part of the world, and that we know what's going on. Yeah, generally we know what's going on. We can find out what's going on anywhere in the world at any point in time. And I think a lot of people's tuned in to communicating what is actually happening. All right. Obviously, you have to be careful of the information, whether the information is real or is it fake. You have to always be mindful of the propaganda that's being put out there, okay? And everybody's doing it nowadays. You could say everybody's doing it because social media, the internet, the visual effects that you can make and push out there allows people to make their own information up, okay? So anybody's doing it and everybody's doing it, all right? But then what good is all this information and all this technology if we're not making this world a better place? It really makes no sense to me that the technology is being used for the wrong purposes. Instead of using the technology to enhance our lives or our environment, what you find is that the globalist elite, and we're going to go into that, yeah? The globalist elite tend to use the technology as a form of control, another form of control, you could say, to continue to perpetuate, to destroy people's lives and the environment. Okay, so really it's going to be up to people. Okay, it's all dependent on people as a whole and how they use the information, rather than just taking the information just because the information is there. It's just like entertaining ourselves just for entertainment purposes. Now, certain information is not for entertainment. Certain information is to get people to think, is to provoke people's thinking, is to get people to wake up, is to get people to come into consciousness, to get to understand the reality of what we're dealing with through our experiences in life, okay? And not everybody experiences the same, alright? Not everybody wants to tune into the same experiences. Some people, they're not interested in what's going on in the world and how the world is affected, but they don't see that if one person's affected, then we're all affected, ultimately, yeah? So, there's a lot of things going on, so much things going on that really I don't really have the time to go through everything. And I don't want to sound like I'm scaremongering or anything like that. It's not about that. It's about putting information out there and let everybody know. And then it's down to you to make your own informed decision about how you want to take that information on. But the main thing is that we need to know that we need to protect ourselves, so we can protect our children, our family, our community, our society, and our nation as a whole. And we're talking about ourselves because we can't talk for everyone else. You get what I'm saying? When everybody else is going in their own direction, that's not in line in the direction that we need to be going in. And people may be asking and wondering, what direction are we going in, SAYSHARA? Or what direction should we be going in? Well, we don't want to be going in the direction where we have a destructive mindset, that all we want to do is destroy life and destroy everything that's in our environment, and not take things into consideration of how these things could affect other people. We don't want to be cold, callous, and nefarious in our way of behaving, okay? So we don't need to be following what everybody else is doing, in other words, in the sense that we need to be setting the examples by being the example, okay? So we're not against anybody as per se when we're talking about exposing certain types of information out there, okay? We've got to be looking at who is in control of all of the machinations, okay? And how can we prevent these things from occurring? How can we stop these things from happening? There's so much things happening, all right, that we have to be able to find a way to take control of these things that's going on, all right? Otherwise, things are going to get out of control, right? And maybe you would be saying that things are already out of control. There's no doubt about that, yeah? And some of us will see the world in different parallels to the different dynamics that's out there. Why you see the way the world is the way it is. Why is it the way it is? Why does it have to be like this? Now, when we're talking about technology, let me just put things into proper context, okay? One of the things I've been talking about in getting people to understand how this system operates and functions, okay? Like I said, it's not about me and what I'm saying. I'm only one pair of eyes and the voice, mouthpiece, okay, that is just projecting what I see. I get vibrations, I get feelings of how I see things, and then I put all that out there to get people to look at things, all right? And we need to shape the way that we need to look at things so we can create a place for us, okay? That's a lot better than what it is at this present moment. We're talking about how can we create a better environment for ourselves in the present, for our children and our children's future, okay, and the generations of our children, okay, to come, and that we need to protect them. And the only way we can do that is to build them up, build ourselves up with the kind of information and knowledge around us, okay, where we can start to look at how can we prevent from things from happening. We can't be just keep on talking about it. So we have to make a stand and come to a realization that something needs to be done. We can't allow people to be able to think that they can just do anything they want. And it's going to kill people. It's going to annihilate people. It's going to destroy people's lives. Yeah? And that's what's happening. Now, to put things into context, like I said, to understand this system and how it operates and functions, all you got to do is study warism. Let's study war. And it's a big subject. And it covers a lot of areas. Okay? But you need to really study warism, because that's something that's been perpetuated for hundreds of years. That's what built up this whole planet Earth when we're talking about this man-made system that we're living in. Things have evolved over a period of time, and because of war has shaped this whole planet Earth to what it is today. And it's still a very imperialist system that we're living in, where it's all about superpowers and how much military hardware these superpowers have to protect themselves or to attack. Yeah, it's all about that. It's about spending billions and billions of pounds, dollars, yen, whatever denomination that you want to think of, on military hardware. And science has played a major part in all of this to advance those military weapons. And one of the things that people need to be aware of, okay, is the military industrial complex is the most revenue asset profitable business. It's the number one. The military industrial complex is the most revenue, profit income business. Okay, it's an industry. You know what I'm saying? They call it the military industrial complex. Okay, and basically, I'm going to talk as plain and as common as I possibly can. Okay, because I wanted people to understand what I'm talking about. The majority of our people, anyway. Yeah, is that you got 3 divisions. Okay, as you know, you got the army, which are the ground troops or soldiers on the ground. You got the navy. As you know, the navy floats around on ships and boats on the ocean across the world or globe. And then you got the air force. As you know, the air force is all about flying planes in the air. So a lot of money goes into all of that. Okay? But what is happening right now is that a lot of money is gone into these types of military industrial complexes. Okay, it could be America, United States of America, it could be China, it could be Russia, it could be this country, the UK or UQ, as I'll say, England, and you know, France, and all of these developing countries, okay, and even some of the developed countries, or even some of the developing countries, buy these weapons from the developed industrialized countries, okay, and you know, everybody's tied into buying weapons of mass destruction because everybody's all about protecting themselves, okay, and it's quite convenient for those people that control the military industrial complex to sell these weapons to these developing countries because it's money. It's an industry, so it helps to stimulate the economy, okay? It helps bring in billions into the treasurer's coffers, right? And when it comes to business, these people mean business. They really do mean business. It's all about business, okay? It's not about people's lives. It's not about protecting people's lives. It's all about business. So now you find that we used to just have the basic fundamentals of science. You know, you would have just science, or what forms of sciences that was available to us would be like physics, chemistry, and biology. And the science now was taken off to a whole different level now, where we're dealing with scientific technology, which is injected into the sciences, the different sciences, the different forms of sciences like physics, chemistry, and biology. And basically it's accelerated this whole scientific system of how science has been revolutionized, okay, very, very rapidly because of the technology that's involved. Okay, so when you put science and technology together, you get scientific technology, okay, which is a totally different science now, right? But it's advanced, and I don't think a lot of people have really looked at this scientific technology and understand what is really going on, yeah, and what is going to be the future. Some people might think, oh, well, you know, why are we even caring about the future? I'm going to die anyway, yeah? So just leave the future up to the younger generation or the next generation, and so on, so on, so on, yeah? I don't think that we should be thinking like that. I don't think that's very healthy. I think that the way we need to be looking at is that we all got a responsibility, not just for ourselves, but for our children and our children's children's children. So it's not about having this selfish mentality. And it, you know, some people might think, yeah, it's good to be selfish. I don't think so. Yeah, I think we need to be looking at things collectively and thinking that we need to be always focusing on how we need to protect ourselves right in the present, right now, okay, so we could prevent things from happening in the future that's going to affect our children and our future generations. So we need to understand that inventions and innovations and ideas are fantastic. They're, you know, some of the best inventions are some of the things that we have in our house, and we'd probably be really glad to have some of these things, some of these creature comforts, so to speak, okay? Everything's we got within a small space now. We don't have to go too far to do anything, yeah? And so basically, in some ways, we've become kind of dependent on this technology, and I think maybe that's what they want. And I was always thinking that, what would happen if they were to just switch everything off? What would happen to us? What would really go down? What would really be taking place? Yeah? How would we cope? How would we deal with that? Have we got a backup system? Are we prepared for this switch off, cut off period or time? It could happen, okay? And I don't think people realize that if there was even a power cut, for example, how how can I say it? How we would be finding ourselves wanting. In other words, we would be like panicking. We would be like stressed out. Yeah. How would we react? Okay. So like, we need to be clear that, as I said, the technology, you know, could be fantastic. You know what I'm saying? Maybe there's nothing wrong with it, right? You might see there's nothing wrong with these things going on, yeah? But I find it really strange, a lot of the things that's going on. And for example, and you know, it's a pity the phone lines ain't working, because I'm sure you'd have something to say, most definitely. And I apologize for that. And I want to make sure somehow we get everything working on par. Yeah. Now, one of the things that it's kind of interesting that a few weeks ago I was talking about some of this stuff, and then the last 2 weeks, I mean, you know, I think we've missed 2 weeks of the SAYSHARA late night show because of the technical difficulties. And I wanted to talk about this technology about 2-3 weeks ago. Okay, I've already had it laid out, yeah? But it's kind of strange that in the meantime, while I was absent, you know, generally I watch TV the odd times. You know, I have times where I watch TV. Yeah, I've always watched TV. I don't have a problem. I say that all day long, I watch TV, yeah? But I watch TV for a particular reason. I don't watch TV to glorify what's on TV. It's mainly observations and just to keep up, to see what, you know, they're pushing out there or what they're saying, just to hear what's happening or just to see what's happening, yeah? But I'm not too interested in what's on TV because, you know, it's all about programming and brainwashing and conditioning people to think a certain way, okay? And if you tune in too much into that and you follow everything that they're saying on TV, you're just going to become like a Google box. You're just going to be a box, you know what I'm saying? You're just going to look like a box. You're going to sound like a box, you know what I'm saying? You're going to be very repetitive, yeah? And you're not really going to be saying anything other than what you're getting from TV, yeah? But we've got so much information out there pouring out. We've got an ocean of information out there that, you know, why would you want to sit down and just focus on something that's repetitive? The same soaps, the same TV and cop robbers programs, the same music, the same, you know, rhetoric, the same news. It's always disastrous, nothing really good. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's after a while it gets tedious, it gets monotonous. You know, I don't know how much people can take of that, but it looks like some people, they follow these programs week in, week out. I'm only interested in natural drama, or when I say natural drama, natural programs about nature and anything that's real, okay, that's happening, yeah? But what I'm actually talking about is that I saw something to do with the California fires. At first I wasn't really interested in it, yeah, but I was watching the news and I just saw this image. I didn't hear what was happening because the volume was down, and I saw this fire. And when I say I saw the fire, I just saw the surrounding of the fire that they're talking about. They're saying it's a wildfire, right? I ain't interested in that, you know what I'm saying? Because I hear it all the time. But it just seemed, when I looked at the pictures, I just saw something so strange. I looked at it and I said, that looks really strange. Because we're looking at California, yeah, and the area that they was actually showing was a suburban area, really well planned, laid out houses, where the houses weren't squashed up. They weren't like ghetto areas or slum areas. These were very nice houses, very nice environment. I mean, everything was properly laid out, designed, yeah. Front garden, back garden, you know, quite a big space between each house. You had quite a space, and if you look, there was concrete pavements, there was concrete roads, you know what I'm saying? And I was thinking, oh, hold on a minute, they're talking about 100,000 acres of fires in residential homes, suburban homes, not only in the North California, but in South California. So there's like 2 major fires going on here. So I'm looking at it and I said, no, there's something not right about that. And then like, anyway, I just carried on ignoring it, as you do. And then I saw another commentary about it. And there was an English guy saying that he was commentating about the fire, and he said he's been living there for 11 years and blah blah blah, and he said, like, you know, the thing that really struck me, what he said that this wasn't no ordinary fire. This is the exact word he said, this is not no ordinary fire, right? And I looked at that and I said, you know what, there must be something there. So I looked up on social media, yeah, what was happening there, and people's actually following this. They're actually following the California fires. I mean, I don't know how many tens of thousands of people are actually following these fires, okay? And there's a lot to learn from that, yeah? Now, I'm not into following social media or anything. I don't really have a lot of social media apparatus, okay? I've just got an email. I've just started up. Well, I'm going to big up Mac One for helping me to contribute towards actually putting up a YouTube channel. And if anybody was interested, to go to that, SAYSHARA, and Say is spelled SAYSHARA, okay? And you can send me an email, which is sayshara232@gmail.com, okay, if you want to inform me about anything, all right? But anyway, yeah, just go there and just the usual stuff, and like, subscribe, and comment or whatever, okay? But I'm just trying to be a bit more interactive, okay? Now, what I'm saying is that I don't really have a lot of connections with a lot of technology, in the sense that I don't follow everything that's going on out there, okay? I don't follow to any particular ideology. I'm not into the following thing, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's not for me to tell people what to do. That's not what I'm about, okay? I'm here to just inform, to make you aware, and to educate you as much as I possibly can about what's going on. I'm not cutting no corners. I'm going to tell you the truth 100%, okay? I'm not going to hide. It's not about favoritism. It's not about nepotism. It's not about me, like I said. It's about what's in the best interest of the majority of, in fact, all of my people, all right? But I mean the majority, because we know there's a lot of black devils out there, all right? And I'm going to go into that, all right? But we will be talking about, in time to come, as long as everything's running functionally, we'll be talking about leadership, okay? I've got so much information to talk about the black leadership and, you know, how we need to change that, yeah? And that's what we need to be looking at, all right? Now, going back to what I was saying about this whole thing about what I saw on TV with this California fires, okay? Like I said, I wasn't interested in it, but something, you know, your intuition, your vibration picks something up, okay? And I thought, yeah, let me just jump on this, okay? So I looked on social media, and I know there's a lot of people skeptic. But anytime people kind of talk about social media, it's like you're talking about some devil, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Or you're talking about something alien. People are so weird. I don't follow social media. I'm not into the social media. I'll tell you that much. You know what I'm saying? But I'm into the information. I'm into the knowledge. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm interested in learning. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah? So I would not ever ignore that. Information is for everybody. It doesn't matter where you're coming from or what race, color, creed, religion, ideology, or whatever. Yeah, information is for everyone. Yeah, we have the intelligence. We have this brain, man. Our Creator, Supreme Being, Most High gave us. And so, you know, we need to use this intelligence, man. We're not even using a fraction of our intelligence because we're not working together. You see what I'm saying? We need to work together. Our minds is powerful. Our brains are so powerful. It's if you could see how much energy it could generate, you'd be surprised how powerful it is. We don't know, you know, if I was to say how much voltage or much power it's generating, you know what I'm saying? It's generating a lot of voltage, energy, yeah? But what I'm saying is, yeah, that California fire that's out there, what people were saying on social media, for me, didn't sound strange. Because I understand the technology, I understand science. I'm not saying that I'm a scientist. I'm going to tell you straight, I'm not no scientist. I'm not no doctor or anything like that, okay? Yeah? But you don't need to be a scientist. You don't have to have all the credentials and the degrees and the qualifications and classifications and all this to understand certain things. The information is out there. Anything that you want to know about anything is there. It's there at your fingertips. No excuses, okay? So even though I'm not up with the social media and stuff like that, I do keep my ears and my eyes and my nose, all my senses tuned in. Because I want to know what's happening. I don't want what's going on. Yeah? But there's a lot of talk. Very, very serious talk. And it's like we're living in dangerous times with all this technology that we're dealing with now. Because, you know, are they interfering with nature? Is this the elites, the ruling classes, the people that have the power and influence, okay, to affect people's life? Are they actually messing with nature? Are they using technology, okay, not only to control people, yeah, but to actually destroy people's lives, okay? Because what... I don't know if people realize what's actually taking place out here, yeah? Because the technology is accelerated. It's accelerated rapidly, okay? While people sitting down, Google boxing their brains out there, you know, into this comatose state, they're not realizing what's actually taking place, yeah? And how are these people getting away with it? How are these people getting away? How are these things allowed to happen? Yeah? Because I'm telling you, that when I looked at all that fire is not a normal fire. It's not a wildfire. Wildfires don't jump from houses to houses. They don't jump from houses to houses in a suburban area. We're not talking about a ghetto area or a slum area. You know what I'm saying? Yeah? The way these houses were demolished, they were leveled. They were leveled to the ground. Like they were demolished. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about hundreds of houses demolished. And one of the things that they were saying, and you've got to get used to some of the jargons out there, because I know a lot of people, they tune out when it comes to science and technology and mathematics. We just don't want to know all that stuff, man. It's just too complicated. Yeah? A lot of us don't want to know. We're quite happy to use all the technology, but when it comes to understand how these technologies work and operate and what's the effects and the causes and the arms of these technologies, We don't want to get involved. We're not interested, because you got to read into things, and generally most people don't read. You got to read things. So we're living in a world, right, where we have high-tech organizations and corporations working together and taking advantage of the technology to use it for their own means and purposes. And we got so much things. A lot of people might think, oh, SAYSHARA, you're going too far with this, man. But like I said, this is 2018. A lot of the things that people wouldn't have imagined as happening now, like mobile phones in your hands, most of us would never have envisioned that. You would have saw it on Star Trek, for example, and most of us know Star Trek because it's a series that's been around before I was born. Alright? So most of us would have saw Star Trek, most of us would have saw the mobile phone. But most of us wouldn't have imagined that one day we would have a mobile phone in our hands. We're not thinking that far ahead. You see what I'm saying? But it's happened. Alright? So I'm not trying to scare anybody, alarm anybody when you hear the type of technology that they got, that's out there, that they've invented. And the reason why they invent these things is to protect themselves, is to advance themselves, okay? So that they're ahead of the game, so to speak. They have the latest technological advanced weapons of mass destruction. Right? And now they're talking about, I don't know if I should say anything, yeah? Because maybe you need to hear it. Alright? Maybe you need to hear it. I've got a couple of videos that you need to listen to. Alright? But would it be alarming for some people to say, for me to say this, okay? Because for you to hear it, you might say, well, this SAYSHARA, you're going too far, okay? But I'm telling you what I'm saying that's happening right now, okay? I'm not talking no hairy, fairy, Mary story now, all right? We need to be clear that they're not using religion no more, even though religion is a major tool. It's a major instrument to control people's lives. But I'm saying that the religion stuff and all the Bible and all these God concepts and all of this stuff, okay, that stuff is old school stuff. Yeah, you can't do nothing with that. You see what I'm saying? All you can do is continue the indoctrination and the brainwashing and putting people in a comatose, paralysis, traumatized state, because that's all it does. It doesn't really do anything. It makes people, gives people a feeling, a sense of security or comfort. Yeah, but I think that we got to look at what's going on with this technology, because this is what's really going on. You know, this is what they're using now. They're not wasting time worrying about what's in some book in black and white, talking about something that they say happened hundreds of years. They're not interested in that. Right now, they're looking at, they're talking about things that's way over your head. Most people's heads anyway, yeah? I know the Genesis audience, I'm not taking this away from you. I know most of you are pretty queued up. I know most of you listen to me, know what I'm saying, and you've heard it before. I'm only just adding to what's already being put out there, okay? Because I'm only learning from past teachers myself, yeah? But they've got things like man-made clouds, man-made fires, wildfires. They're making, see, man-made fires, okay? You might think, all of these things, why would they do that? Man-made hurricanes, man-made tsunamis, man-made earthquakes, man-made global warming, man-made climate change. Now, this whole thing to do with global warming and climate change, it's become like a gimmick. Just like AIDS, just like a lot of things that they put out there. it's not hard. It's not hard for people to be creative and come out with an idea. Okay? And though, you know, the elite, the ruling class elite, they've got people that they've got sitting down 24 hours a day working on all kinds of ideas. You get what I'm saying? They're spending millions and millions, billions on the latest inventions and innovations. They steal these ideas, they'll rob these ideas, they'll rape these ideas from anybody, whatever it is, whatever the idea is, they're going to want to take that. And they're going to want to enhance that. That's what they do. They inject their billions into it to enhance the technology or the science. And now, what kind of a world we're living in now? We're talking about a world where we've got smartphones, we've got smart TVs, we've got smart iPads. You know, we got smart glasses. Have you heard about the smart glasses? There's Google got glasses out there. Yeah. And we got smart robots. You know, the robotic field is quite big now. And we got smart meters. Now I want to talk about smart meters as time goes by. Yeah. I'm going to go into, I'm not going to just talk about, I'm going to give you information. Yeah. And where you can go and get the information. Yeah. But then, you know, going back to this whole thing about global warming and climate change, it's like they're selling you a product, innit? They go, well, we feel that there's a problem with the environment with all this pollution. So what we're going to do, we've come out with this slogan, or we come out with this term of expression called global warming, and we'll just sell it to the public. Just sell it to them. It's a gimmick, yeah? Because these people are talking about global warming and climate change, and now they put taxes on it. They're telling you that you've got to pay for the air that you're breathing. You've got to pay for the pollution, right? But they don't do nothing about it. They do not do anything to stop the pollution, right? So it really makes no sense. So what they do, it's like any idea. You can get an idea, you get the idea, you disseminate the language. You disseminate that language, global warming, climate change. You keep on repeating it over and over again, and you're selling it. After a while, people's going to buy it. They're going to subscribe to it willingly. Just like vaccines and the flu jabs. I'm going to go into that as well. Because I've noticed recently they've been advertising, get your flu jabs, get your flu vaccinations. And they've also been advertising about these smart meters. They've been pushing it, yeah? But what I'm saying is, yeah, just because the government or some institution that's regulated and is registered with the government and has loads of associates and is a big corporation or has a big name or whatever, we trust these kind of things. We trust them, yeah? And, you know, you find that the same people that we claim to trust are the same ones that are actually using whatever resources that they have available to just exploit people, just to make money. Yeah, they don't care about the after effects or the effects of what they're selling, as long as they can make the money, right? So there's no morals, there's no ethics, really, is there? Yeah, a lot of people talk about, oh, we're going to protect the environment, we're going to preserve the environment, all right? Yeah, and that if we don't preserve this, all these things. No, the phone's not working. All right, thank you. Where's that coming from? Hold on. All right, it's another phone. Hold on. Hello? Yeah, no, it's not working. No, at the moment it's not working. This is the text line. So if you want, you could text us by all means. Oh, is it? Oh, okay. Hmm. Yeah. Right. You sure that's not the smart meters they're talking about? Yeah. Hmm. You're talking about 6ix9ine? Yeah. Yeah, thanks for that. Much appreciated for that, brother. Much appreciated. Yeah, cool. Yes, definitely. Yeah, thanks for the conversation. Yeah, ciao. Yeah, I really missed out on the phone lines, but a brother just phoned up and he's kind of touching on what I was talking about. Yeah, and basically he's saying that the fires could be contributed to these smart meters. Now, that is one of the reasons that some people are saying it could be these smart meters, because they do have a tendency to catch a fire, right? And there's a lot of information around these smart meters. Don't take my word for it. Do the research, yeah? But like I said, I got the information in my hands, all right? And we'll go through it, most definitely, yeah? But you also mentioned about Takeshi, let me see if I can pronounce his name. Takeshi 6ix9ine, yeah? Now, this young man, I don't know what's going on, but he's in a lot of trouble, yeah? And apparently, I think he's in prison right now, yeah? I'm not sure why he's in prison. I'm not sure even what it's about, yeah? But I have no idea what it's about. I think that... hello. I can hear you. Hello. Carry on. No. I just heard you. Oh, I can't hear. You've gone now. Hold on, maybe... Yeah, carry on. Okay. I just heard something, but it's just gone. What's that happening? Hello? Yeah, carry on.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, but you're very, very low. Hold on. Hold on.
You're just low as well, SAYSHARA. I mean, I couldn't hear the last talk.
No, the last caller was phoning me on the other number.
Oh, yeah, man. It's very, very low, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he called on the wrong line, yeah?
Yeah. Okay. I can hear you a bit louder. I'm hearing you a bit louder.
See if you can work on the phone line, yeah?
Yeah.
Extremely low, yeah? And also, you do sound like you're coming from one ear as well.
I'm coming from one ear.
But not two ear, yeah?
Right. Oh, is it?
Alright, brother.
It looks like to me. It looks like to me the monitor.
You're extremely low, man. I'm gonna have to hang up, man. You're very low.
Right. You can't hear me.
Alright.
Right. Okay.
I can hear you just about. But you're extremely low.
Yeah.
Alright. I just hope
Right.
Genesis can radio can like work on this.
Yeah.
Because it's been happening a lot. I've been listening to other shows, and the same things been happening. Yeah.
Mm.
So I don't know if your technician can work on this.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
To get the volume up. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, my brother. All right, but great show anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, much appreciated. Thank you.
Man, respect, brother. Just keep it up, man.
Yeah.
When you do the Kwanzaa thing, man. When you doing the Kwanzaa?
Well, it's gonna be maybe next week. From next week onwards, who knows? Because
you gotta expose that, man.
I want to make sure that I'm sounding good and everything's on par. You know what I'm saying? So I can put the information up. I want to make sure the information is tight.
You was down for a couple of weeks, right? You were down. The station was down for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's some technical difficulty. I don't even know. I can't explain what it is because I don't really know at the moment. But as soon as I get to find out, I'll let you know.
Alright, man. I just hope you're up now, for good now, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's holding back my little program still, you know what I mean?
Yeah, cool. You know what I mean? Missed you we kind of missed you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Alright, brother, listen, man, tuning in, locked in.
No, yeah. Thanks for keeping the phone lines checking up, huh?
Yeah, just checking up on the line because it was, people can't hear you, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Respect anyway, yeah?
Yeah, respect all the time. Thank you very much. And that's Mac 1. Yeah, big up. Big up to Mac 1 and his family, yeah? Alright, so yeah, I want to big up Marsha. Alright, hold on. Could you find me on the other line? Yeah, it's 07. Alright, hang up the phone and I'll give it to you, yeah? Cool. Yeah, thank you. Much appreciated. Alright, so the text line is definitely up and running. I'll give you the numbers, okay? So for the phone line, it's 074 043 67 618. I repeat, for the phone lines, 074 043 67618. Alright, so yeah, I apologize for any technical difficulty. I'm just playing it by here. I'm in there by the studio by myself. Okay, I'm trying to multi-function. I'm trying to be like an octopus. Okay, and basically, I'm trying to take control of everything. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, yeah, as I was saying, I was talking about there's this hip hop artist. Okay, he's got a weird name anyway. I don't understand his name, but they call him 6 to the 9, whatever that means. Okay, and they call him a rapper. I got this. I'm just gonna get it up quickly. Okay, I'm just gonna pause for a minute on the technology. Let me touch on this. Yeah, I think the brother's gonna phone me up in a minute. Yeah, but I just don't know. I'm not sure what the controversy is all about, but he's got a lot of issues at the present moment, and he got arrested. I don't know, maybe some people who know a little bit more about him, please let me know. But I'll be honest with you, I'm gonna be straight with you, yeah? There's a lot of hip hop artists, let me take that back. There's some hip hop artists out there, some entertainers out there, rappers, whatever they want to call themselves, okay? They are put there to mislead and misguide people, especially the younger generation. That's what they're there for, right? So I'm watching this video. He's brawling. There's some issue going on with some gangs. I don't know, but it says there, Tekashi 69, also known as 6I times 9, spelled 9INE. Right, there's a big fight. I'm watching this video where there's a big fight. Right there. If you go to Mail Online, this is Sunday, December the 2nd. Notorious face tattoo rapper who faces jail for groping a 13-year-old girl and is allied to the Blood gang gets into a huge fight at Lax. This is the headlines. Takeshi 69, also known as 6x9, was also involved in a brawl outside Terminal 5. Brooklyn-based rapper 21 faces 1 to 3 years for sexual misconduct. 7-man fight was triggered after rapper insulted man's female friends. Rapper is thrown to the ground in fight on busy road and loses his shoes. But I don't know about this character, man. But he makes I mean, there's this thing called punk, yeah? He just looks like a punk. His hair is in different colours. He's got tattoos all over his body and his face and everywhere, yeah? And he's got like multicoloured enamel. He's got multicoloured enamel teeth, yeah? I mean, he makes punks. Remember the punk? I don't know if people know about punks in the 70s and the 80s. There used to be punks in this country, like the Sex Pistols, okay? The group called the Sex Pistols. This is how they used to look. They used to look like this, like how this character, Takeshi 69, that's how he looks. He just really looks like a punk. And now you're going to see everyone start following him, start looking like him now, innit? Do you get what I'm saying? But I think he's just misleading people.
I remember having...
Anyway, I think that the younger generation, man, stop following these hip hop artists and these entertainers, man, because they're not for real. They're not real, yeah. And anyway, I looked at some of the stuff to do with this young man, right? And you have to look at alternative social medias. Don't just follow what's trending, yeah. You have to look at people that's investigating, trying to know the ins and outs of these characters, okay? Who they are, where they come from, what they're about, yeah? Really, you got to look at this thing objectively. These people, they're not real, yeah? Some of them are gonna be put up to, like I said, to misguide and mislead you, yeah? And you know, what they were saying is that he's an agent. They're saying he's an agent. He works for one of those agencies that are part of the government, all right, that investigate criminal activities, yeah? Now, they're saying also, there's things that they're saying about him, yeah, where they locked him up to protect him because the gangs were going to do something to him, innit? I'm not sure what gang's going to do him something, but apparently they're also saying that he was kidnapped and he's been they've been extorting money from him and all kinds of stuff like that. So I don't really know what's going on, yeah? There's a whole heap of stuff going on with this character, yeah? And it don't look too good for him right now, yeah? I don't know, but we'll, you know, as time goes by, we'll get to hear more about it, yeah? All right? And if anybody knows anything, you know, you're welcome. Call 074 043 67618. All right? Now, I said I got a video, yeah? Let me stop, pause there, okay? Let me just go into this video and then I'll come back to you, yeah? I think this is the one. This one is about 12 minutes long, right? And it's about 5 years old, to be honest, yeah, since it was uploaded. But it covers a lot of stuff that we've been talking about or people need to know about, yeah? And when when this information is finished, then I'll continue to talk about. Hold on. I'll continue to talk about. I'm going to look at talking about the smart meters, and also EMF or radiation, and hold on.
Accept your own and be yourself.
Go to www.genesisradio.co.uk by all means, yeah? Every time, by all means, alright? Okay, so let me see if I can get this information up and running. It's not happening. Right, that's strange. Hold on. Alright, hold on. Alright, so alright, so look, it's just not happening right now. What's happening with this set?
I know not what costs others, but as for me, give me liberty or give me death.
Truth Stream Media,
so
Aaron Dykes and Melissa Melton on Unbound Radio. Well, we actually have a list of stuff here that we wanted to kind of bring up having to do with things that DARPA has come out with, because I think all the time in the news we're seeing people talk about how DARPA came up with this new thing this week and it's super awesome. It's the new, big dog robot that can throw a cinder block with a metal arm that comes out of its head. Who needs that, by the way? And so they're all the time coming out with these robots and things, and it's talking about how trendy and super cool it is. But we wanted to actually talk about some of the other stuff they're doing. And then as we're mentioning these things and talking about them, think about them all together. Think about how these interact with each other and how that affects us. Okay, so not only are they making all these robots, they've got jumping robots, swimming robots, climbing robots, they've got robots that dodge obstacles, they've got six-legged robots, there's a cheetah that's the fastest robot ever made, there's a robot ape that climbs trees, they've got a robo-ostrich, they're doing lifelike humanoid robots, and they also have this weapons they come out with, like they have death ray lasers, actual death ray lasers, not FBI paid for guy in a basement building at death ray lasers, but actual ones with unlimited magazines that they're going to start putting on drones. But here's some other stuff they're also doing that you may or may not be aware of. This story also came out. They were hacking into a squid's central nervous system. They were using electric signals to force the squid to change its colors. So they were basically perfecting mind control in the squid. They're also studying our fight or flight response. They want to explore the neuroscience of our threat responses, to use neuroeconomic models to study the way we move and how that changes when we're faced with threats. So put those two things together. They can mind control with electric signals, and they're studying our fight or flight response. To me, the only reason they would need that is to be able to shut it off. Moving on, Regina Dugan came out recently. She's a former DARPA head, but she now is the leader of special projects for Motorola, which is owned by Google. And this is, she says, this is a quote, "We got to do a lot of epic expletive when I was at DARPA." And she says, now they're even doing better stuff. And she was showing her electronic tattoo that she has. So it's an electronic tattoo. It's a barcode on her arm, and she was showing that off, and how that can be used to authenticate your password or authenticate you online and everything instead of using a password. So if this is not the mark of the beast, if it's not in any way, why does it seem like they're basically taking that page out of Revelations and using it? I mean, right? And she went on to say that they also have vitamin authentication, which is a pill that you swallow, and your whole body then becomes your password.
It's incredible, and just part of that technology, I know a lot of it's based on gaming theory, which probably does play into video games, but I know it principally means being able to predict your response as you mentioned. And that means knowing the most likely options, whether it's 2, 3, 4 options, whether it's multiple choice, and basically planning for that response
and then
in a
unleashing a
prioritized list.
robo-ostrich on you.
I mean, maybe you saw the headline from last year in 2012, new algorithm predicts your future movements within 65 feet of accuracy. And they found that essentially we repeat the same basic movements on average over and over, go to the same basic corner store, the same job location, the same home or apartment location, same base of friends, and if they're tracking that on your cell phone or on your Facebook updates or through an implant chip, they can pretty much predict what you're likely to do next as well. And thwarting that really would take some effort, I think.
They're going to move beyond that. They're actually working on something called biometrics at a distance. So that's going to build a sensor that can remotely identify you farther away, tell you out from a crowd, sense your heartbeat through a wall. I mean, that's beyond just censoring you. But yeah, I mean, this list, I don't even know what I should get to next. There's so many.
Did you talk
horrible
about the
things on
internet
here.
yet?
I'm not to that part yet. Oh, yeah, they want to, let's see, what was that? They're going to learn to control a rat's brain over the internet. Actually, they already have. It says the government mind control may not be as far-fetched as it sounds. After 15 years of research, they found a way to transmit information from one brain to another, thereby controlling the thoughts of the test subjects.
And I was just going to say, admittedly, back to 1966, the very beginning of the internet was an actual DARPA project. From the beginning, it was a Department
GPS,
of Defense application. And you say, oh, I heard about university academics being the start of the internet. They're under the Department of Defense.
They're getting paid by them. And this is called BrainLink. Back at Unbound Radio, I'm your co-host, Melissa Melton, here with Aaron Dykes for True Stream Media. And I just want to paint this picture for you, Aaron. I was talking about some of the things DARPA did before the break, and I'm getting ready to play those into an even creepier picture. Now, this is something that Obama announced, the BRAIN Project. It's the brain research through advancing innovative neurotechnologies. It's an initiative that he gave $100 million to in his fiscal 2014 budget, and he announced it at the April State of the Union address. But this basically will produce pictures of your brain showing how individual brain cells and complex neural circuits interact at the speed of thought, and explore how the brain records, processes, uses, stores, and retrieves vast quantities of information, and the links between that and between brain function and behavior. And DARPA is actually working on that. And at the same time they're working on that, they're working on building robots with real brains in a different project called the Physical Intelligence Program, which is basically a Pentagon-funded team of researchers that have constructed a machine that would allow robots to act independently. And one of the guys on the thing says it's going to be looking and thinking like a human brain that they're going to put into a robot. So it goes right back to Kurzweil that we talked about last hour. So they're controlling rats' brains. They're checking out fight or flight. They're on a program right now that's President Obama's funding $100 million to, having to do with how our brains work, while simultaneously at the same time building robots that function with real brains. And then all of that you have, remember the movie Avatar with the blue people?
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? They actually also have a project, and they have creatively called it Avatar, where it's basically the same as the movie, but with robots instead of aliens. And the goal is to develop interfaces and algorithms that enable soldiers to effectively partner with semi-autonomous bipedal machines and act as soldier surrogates.
Two-legged robot destroyers, pretty much Terminator. In fact, a lot of those movies, James Cameron and Bond, are really what we can only assume are predictive programming to get the population used to those coming trends, because movie after movie comes true, and we'll probably read off some of those next time.
We're going to do that next time. Yeah, definitely. Well, it's funny you say the predictive programming, because here's the final piece of this DARPA puzzle. This is also what they're working on. It's a program called Narrative Networks, and it seeks to master the science of propaganda. It says they're going to take narratives and make them quantitatively analyzable in a rigorous, transparent, and repeatable fashion. And what they're doing here is they're studying the effects of oxytocin. So that's basically considered a love chemical, and the role of that in human thought process is being studied, and this is a quote, in an effort to enhance public messages from the U.S. military. So we're not talking about just any propaganda here, people. We're talking about high-tech, chemically enhanced, biochemically enhancing us to basically be more susceptible to government lies.
And this stuff goes actually beyond the mark of the beast. I don't know if some of this may have been predicted in the Bible. I guess it depends on how you interpret symbols. But certainly they're interested in a mark of the beast system with the centralized payment and authorization.
Cashless
They're
society.
very much pursuing the cashless society. But along the lines of Kurzweil and other prominent MIT scientists who've basically been mouthpieces for where DARPA is headed and where other governmental, academic, industrial complex technologists are taking society is towards, yes, scanning the brain. Why? Because they believe those who are chosen to be advanced, to become transhumanists, to become...
And it's not everybody.
to become more human than human. And that actually is where eugenics actually leads down the road, is towards transhumanism. All that is so they believe they can scan your brain if you're selected and put you into the larger centralized database. Copies of your brain will be distributed, and it can be shared and read by other people in the society, and somehow you'll be supposedly at an equal footing with these advanced, intelligent machines that are actually probably going to enslave them as well. Is what's
That's the
going to
next movie script I'll be working on. Oh, wait, wasn't that kind of done in Zardos?
It goes on forever, but Ray Kurzweil did predict it in Age of Spiritual Machines. Not a real prediction, though. It's an agenda. We're going to be back. This is True Stream Media with your host. I'm Aaron Dykes, and this is Melissa Melton.
Hi, guys.
Now, I don't want to be part of your counterfeit system. I don't want your counterfeit money. I don't want your counterfeit politics. I don't want to be replaced by a counterfeit robot that's supposed to imitate what I'm supposed to do, and I definitely don't want your counterfeit food. But, Melissa, you had a point you were going to make about DARPA.
I just wanted to know if you wanted to hear a DARPA fun fact, honey.
Why not?
Well, back in 2003, news surfaced the Pentagon was launching a sweeping new research project called the Embryonic Life Log Program, which aimed to collect every single piece of information available on a person to populate a massive database with the goal to, quote, trace the threads of an individual's life. So Wired reported on this. They said the project would include every email sent or received, every picture taken, every web page serviced, every phone call made, every TV show watched, every magazine read, in addition to a GPS tracker and biomedical and audio-visual sensors to record everything a person said, heard, and saw, in addition to their medical information. And supposedly it was canceled after civil liberties advocates, they kind of complained just a little about the project's privacy implications. So supposedly that was canceled.
What's privacy? What's implication?
What's freedom? What's anything?
So we've been talking about DARPA, Defense Advanced Research Projects. I just picture them in a room playing Sting and every move you make, every breath you take. You haven't even mentioned IARPA.
Oh, IARPA. Yeah, IARPA does for the NSA what DARPA does for the military.
They do for the NSA, yeah.
Yeah, It's much more black ops. It's very hard to even find anything on what they're doing. But I know one of the projects I read about is using archival data to try and predict the future.
So they want to predict the future, they want to control the future, and they think with big data they can monitor, predict, analyze our events in real time.
I guess while DARPA's pushing the future.
I don't know.
IARPA's going to predict it. I don't know.
Technology has done a lot of bad.
Alright, SAYSHARA back on the set here on www.genesisradio.co.uk. I want to say thank you there for that piece of information, and you can go to that, full of information, no doubt, you know how much information is valuable, but that was all about DARPA, okay? DARPA's information. So if you go to top DARPA projects that should creep you out, alright, so top DARPA's projects that should creep you out. I haven't finished talking about the California fires, okay? I'm trying to get this piece of information up, okay? And I want to actually run through the effects of vaccines, and EMF and 5G. Okay, 5G is going to be the latest technology just coming out soon. I think it's going to be rolling out next year in this country, maybe. Right? Right. So we need to be clear on, you know, what these technologies are about and are they going to affect us? Just want to big up the brother that just phoned up and all the brothers. I want to say this, yeah. I want to thank everybody that's contributed to Genesis in some shape or form. And I don't want to take any credit for any information I'm pushing out there or putting out there. It's not about me coming out with information, because if I can give credit to those people that put the information out there, I'll do that, okay? But I don't want to take credit for information that I put out there, okay? It's not me, yeah? I'm just a messenger, all right? And I enjoy being the messenger, all right? I enjoy it, okay? I don't have a problem dealing with this. People want to send me information out there to let me know what's going on, and I'll just put it out there. You know what I'm saying? The brother just phoned me up just now, just to confer with me that they suspected some of the California fires were contributed by these smart meters, because there is information out there that these smart meters are catching on fire, okay? And they're not talking about it. They're not talking about it. But yet they're going to bring smart meters to your house if you haven't already got it already, yeah? And, you know, just listen to what I'm going to be talking about anyway, yeah? And then you'll see, yeah? But I definitely suspect there's something much more than the smart meters, yeah? Because I think what they were saying is that some of the houses that got burnt didn't have smart meters. However, I've done a bit of digging up, like I said, and in some ways it's not too hard, yeah? It's not too hard to do, but they're talking about this new technology that they got. Because, let me explain to you, yeah? Like I said, it's all about the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force, okay? Yeah? This is where most of the billions and of the taxpayers' money is going into these inventions, okay? Really just to prop up this military industrial complex, to perpetuate this death killing fields. Yeah? This is what's really happening. It's you know, 6 million ways to die, choose one. Yeah? It's about killing me softly, right? Because that's what's happening. There's a document you can go and get, PDF it. You can get this document. I can't remember how many pages it is, but it's quite thick. Yeah, I think it's about 45, 50 pages, yeah? It's called Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. I repeat, Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. You don't have to necessarily read it. There's a YouTube of it where they do it in an audio form. So if you don't like reading, because I know there's a lot of people, most people don't read more than 5 lines, a paragraph. I know that. Most people don't read. I know that because I know the people around me, they don't read. Yeah? A lot of people don't read. Everybody likes to watch visuals. That's where they get the information from. I don't do that. I like reading. Yeah? I like reading. If I was to depend on the visuals, right, I'd be one of the most fakest persons, fakest radio presenters on the planet Earth. I'd be fake if I was just dependent on the visual. You know what I'm saying? It's not enough for me to depend on the visual. Okay? I have to reference information, I have to source information, I have to double check it. I have to really, you know, in my head, I have to read between the lines. I have to analyze it. Yeah? Scrutinize it. Yeah? Turn it upside down, whatever. Yeah? But I'm looking at alternative methods of looking at things. I'm looking at a different perspective. I'm looking at alternative perspectives. I don't want the you know, the square box way of looking at things. Everyone's just looking at things in a square box, yeah? Whereas we should be looking at things in a circular. Let me see if I can get this call. Genesis Radio, SAYSHARA speaking. Yeah, who's that?
I want to say, comment in relation to something you said.
Yeah.
You said that black people don't read.
Yeah.
And that they go by visuals. That they learn from visuals.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people learn from even words being spoke.
Mm.
Lectures, when you go to university, you don't have a lot of, you don't, most of your studying or learning processes, you have to do yourself by studying your own time. You know, you get a couple of hours tutoring lectures from a lecture per week.
Yeah.
And you just take notes and then do the rest yourself. And read your book, do your studying yourself and learn yourself.
That's right.
But what I'm saying is, my point is in relation to what I'm talking about when I say you making this comparison when you're saying that when you said that you don't think
well, you can learn from visuals.
Visual learning, reading is good as one. You think reading is more important, but you must understand. Plato, Socrates, and Aristotle. I think it was Plato and Socrates, the best out of the philosophers. The best out of the Greek philosophers, the best out of all the Greek philosophers, who learned from Kemet, ancient Egypt. They're the best methods of learning and teaching and information to build societies on and empires on. And even to Alexander the Greek, or the Great, whatever you call him, Plato or Socrates that taught him, taught Alexander was his personal tutor, or Aristotle was his personal tutor, and then he went to conquer the world after being personally tutored by one of the ancient Greek philosophers. But they used to say they don't like to write nothing down. They like to go over everything by memory. The best one of them didn't write nothing down. The most intelligent one never wrote nothing down. They just learn from word of mouth, from person to person, even people lecture. And I believe they've got that example from ancient Kemet. Because in the Muslims again, who are a lot of doctors in hospitals and GPs and dentists and lawyers and baristas and business corporation owners and all well owners and gold mine owners, etc. And other bits of Disney and Sky and all this business. They, in the Muslim religion, they breathe it down a lot by memory. They learn the Quran by heart and reciting it, all getting together in what they call them schools again. There's a name for special Muslim boys' schools. And when they sit around in a room, they all recite the Quran to themselves out aloud. So they memorize it. Like making a big emphasis on memorizing things rather than writing them down. But I'm saying that that seems to be a good part of their learning method process.
Right. So
their method of learning is partly incorporated with having a good memory, memorizing a lot of stuff. My emphasis in
let's talk about what you just said.
The Christian monks, the Jesuits, look how powerful they was. They go by a lot of memory reciting their Bible, whatever they read in their holy monk places, and go by a lot by memory, by memorizing their Bible. So this memory business can be quite. Look how powerful the Jesuits were.
Okay, so look, you've
millionaires in their time, Jesuits, isn't it?
All right, so let me.
So I'm saying this memory thing can be powerful.
Yeah, okay. Let me just stop you there. Let me cut in. Let me cut in on what you're saying.
Learning by lectures or learning by listening to things rather than learning by reading.
Right, so I'm listening to you. Are you listening to me? Are you listening?
In ancient Kemet,
the
Greek example, I thought that was their method.
You can't hear me. All right.
I can hear now, yeah.
Yeah, all right. So look, right. I don't know if you can hear me properly, yeah, because I remember the last time.
I can hear
All right,
now.
so what?
I can hear.
Now, to be frank, right, to be honest with you, yeah, we don't know what the best teaching method is, okay? We can make all kinds of assumptions and assertions,
Memory.
right? Yeah? But what I'm saying is because we got to do it ourselves. We got to learn how to develop how we need to do that for ourselves, okay? Now, going back to ancient times, yeah, that was then. Fine, yeah? I don't agree with some of the things that you said about Plato, Socrates, and Aristotle. As far as I'm concerned, those are fictional characters. They never really exist. All that stuff is fictional.
Of course they did.
No, let me explain something to you. Let me explain something to you, yeah? I'm going to explain something to you, yeah? This is where a lot of us...
They may not be responsible for
No, let me explain something to you, yeah? No, let me explain something to you. Why I'm saying what I'm saying, yeah? We got to get away from that BS, bro. That's all rubbish stuff. I'm going to tell you why, yeah? The reason why that stuff is rubbish, yeah? That everyone talks about this stuff, but there's no facts to that. There's no evidence to prove any of these characters went to school or done anything with any teachers or anything over there. Right? That's what the Europeans created that institutional lie. Let me explain something. The Europeans created an institutional lie, yeah, to make them look like they were civilized before Alexander the Great got to Egypt, ancient Egypt.
One of them educated Alexander the Greek.
No, yeah, they're saying, right, so they're saying,
the world.
Yes, I know all that. Let me explain something to you. They're saying that Socrates taught Plato, and Plato taught Aristotle, and Aristotle taught Alexander the Greek, or so-called Alexander the Great. Now let me explain something to you about. Let me explain something to you about all these European so-called scholars. Have you read the book by G.M. James? Stolen Legacy. Stolen Legacy. G.M. James, and if you read his story, they eliminated him. Yeah. Let me explain something to you. Yeah. When you investigate, don't get romanticized about European history, yeah, and their story, yeah. Before Alexander the Greek, they never were civilized as a people. They didn't know how to read, they didn't know how to write, yeah. Even when Alexander the Greek got there, they didn't know how to read and write, yeah. They were taught by our ancestors, okay, how to read and write. And if you go and do some research about the Hagia Sophia, the church in what you call Istanbul, Turkey, yeah. At the time they called Constantinople, yeah. They built a church called the Hagia Sophia in 532 AD or ACE, yeah, after the Common Era, yeah. And that's when they were starting to learn how to be civilized. You know what I'm saying? Before that, what I'm saying is they glorify their history and they make it rich and glory, and they come out with all these fake characters, okay? Saying
I don't believe they're fake characters.
They're fake characters, bro, because who wrote those books? Who wrote those books?
No. But I don't necessarily believe that the information basically researched and concluded, discovered, is going to be theirs.
Bro, if you want to believe that, I'm telling you straight. If you want to believe that, go and read G.M. James' book on Stolen Legacy. He done a lot of investigation into Greek philosophy, Greek science, and all of this stuff that they claimed that they did. They never did it. And I'm going to tell you something. If the European had the science and the knowledge and all this stuff that they say they had 500 BCE, right? Yeah. Why did it take them so long to get to America in 1500 ACE? Why did it take them so long to learn how to do things? Come on, man. They never had the knowledge. They never had no knowledge.
Alexander the Great, a lot of things he done to us are very bad.
He never done anything, Bob. All the things.
How powerful
Aristotle
made him.
All the things that they.
Aristotle as his main tutor before
so what?
Alexander the Great when they conquered the world.
What? Yeah, but what I'm saying is, that's a lie.
He was evilly. He was taught information.
That's a lie, bro. That's a lie. Let's move it on. That's a lie, bro. Yeah, let me explain something. That's a lie. Then the European Greeks, right? Even the Romans never had the knowledge, yeah, to go across the globe. If they had the knowledge, right, why did the Europeans take so long to cross the globe? right? So what I'm saying to you, right, they make all this stuff up to make it look like they could read and write. They didn't know how to read and write, yeah? All that stuff before Alexander the Greek. Let me say, I'm going to give you a word of advice. Anybody out there, stop talking about that stuff before Alexander the Greek, because you don't know what you're talking about. Now, all that stuff is airy, merry, fairy story, yeah, that they make up to make look they had a rich cultural history, right? And they were civilized.
The amount of influence that the Greek Empire has had on the Western world in the 1480s of the Greek Renaissance, with the Greek information and culture, art, mathematics, governance, societal laws, business laws, conduct laws, jurisdiction laws.
This is boring. This is boring, G.
Government and a society and a city. All that library.
If you want to set that bollocks, that's up to you. All right? It's a lot of bollocks.
They never had the information inside the world before then. So they were enlightened. They were enlightened by the Greeks, the Aristotelian culture and Platonic culture.
You know what, G? Just move it on. G, just move.
Become enlightened with the rest
yeah,
of
yeah, look.
And that could be why they never sound
I'm not interested in that.
They know how to sound around the world before then.
Bruv,
they weren't enlightened how to, with the information how to.
You know what, right? You read these books, right? And all of this fairy Mary story, but you can't validate it. You cannot validate what you're talking about. You get what I'm saying? It's just stuff that they made up to make it look like that these people existed and that they had civilization. They never had civilization before Alexander the Greek. Yeah, it's all made up.
All the characters in ancient Greece, the days of Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle, all the characters, archaeological evidence exists nowadays that can be carbon dated back to the time when they existed.
Where did they exist? Where are you talking about?
Recordings
Where?
of their information.
G, let's move it on. All right, look, I'm talking about technology, okay?
The approach of their students.
If we want to talk about history,
Socrates, Aristotle, and Plato, because the main people themselves, like the Plato, they wrote nothing down.
G, if you want to worship
all the information was.
If you want to worship that,
by memory,
if you want to worship that crap, if you want to worship that crap, go ahead, bro. Knock yourself out.
On Western culture.
I'm telling you stuff, right? I'm telling you, right? That stuff is rubbish, bro.
Democracy, even now, democracy designed back in them days.
Where's your proof?
Being pushed on the rest of the world now.
You see, you talk. You see, you people. All you do, all you do.
How powerful it is.
All you people.
And these people never wrote nothing down. The main.
What are you talking about?
Man, influencers.
So wait.
They never wrote nothing down.
Who never wrote anything down?
Memorized everything.
Look, right. I'm telling you this, yeah, for the last time, okay? Then we're gonna move it on, yeah, right, yeah. If you want to believe that these people existed with no evidence, yeah, nothing to validate what you're saying, there isn't no evidence. There isn't no archaeological evidence. Any evidence that you can pluck up, right? It's all made up.
Carbon dated. Look at that, man.
So what? Well, then give it to me, then, innit? Give it to me right now.
Sculptures and statues of them.
Where? Give me something.
In Greece.
You got nothing. You got nothing. End of story. Forget. You ain't got nothing. Look, G. Do me a favor. Do me a favor, yeah. Let's cut this out, yeah. You give me the evidence. Bring me the evidence. Right, the next time. Forget all this now, yeah? Because a lot of people have to talk without no evidence, yeah? Forget that, all right? Because a lot of bull, all right? I'll tell you straight.
All the evidence is on the net, SAYSHARA, man.
Forget that. If you want to accept that BS, that's up to you. That's the problem with us.
They were responsible for what they created.
That's the problem with our people.
Yeah, what with them?
You believe anything that these people give you, innit?
No, I do not.
So where are you getting your information from?
I would say it's credible.
Where are you getting your information? Look, you went to school, they didn't teach you about nothing about yourself, right? Do you get what I'm saying?
They didn't teach you nothing about the Greek classics.
Right,
either.
but yet you can tell me about some characters that went to Africa and he learned all our knowledge and everything, yeah? And this is what they're telling us. So what? So what? So what? They want to glorify Plato, Socrates, and Aristotle. Let them glorify Plato's. That's nothing. That's not for us. Do you get what I'm saying? If they want to believe that,
it's not for us.
No, it's nothing to do with.
They learn them things from that. It's for us,
A
isn't it?
lie is a lie is a lie. Yeah. If they want to accept
So
a
you
lie,
don't, you don't
and then-
believe
what?
the character that was the most influence on the whole of Western thought for that time, the most responsible for the way Western democratic thought is
No, because
nowadays.
that's wrong. Because the
The
most
Western world
no,
is
because
nowadays.
you're wrong. You're wrong because most of the influence that they got was from African civilization. That's where they got it from. But they don't give African civilization the credit. They don't give African civilization the credit. They give it to Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle. Right? That's the way. You see, you're just popping up white supremacy. Do you get what I'm saying? This is all you're doing. You are. You are. You're giving them credit. Yeah.
I emphasize
For credit, they don't even. They don't deserve no credit because they never done anything. What did they do?
I emphasize they talk about any.
You're telling me that you're going to accept a lie.
The best of them.
You're going to tell me you're going to accept a lie. That's cool. Go with that. But anyway, I'm talking about technology now. Yeah, I'm not talking about history. That bullshit history. Yeah, history.
Transhumanism, I was going to point out.
Let's talk about technology. What do you know about the technology? I'm talking about, yeah, what happened with the California fires? Okay. How did they start? Do you know anything about that?
About what?
The California fires and what weapons they're using. Right, you don't know about that.
No. California something. You say.
Yeah.
California something.
So now, look, do some research. Write this down. Silent weapons for quiet wars.
Yeah.
Right? Going back to what we were saying about reading, because a lot of black people don't read more than 5 lines, yeah? I don't want you to take anything I'm saying out of context, all right? I'll just take it for what it is, yeah? I'm saying that most people only watch visual things, yeah? I'm not saying that people can't learn from. I'm not saying that, yeah? I'm just saying that a lot of information that people need to know about is in documents, right? In thick documents, pages, all right? People don't read more than 5 lines. They're not interested, all right? But most of the information that people need to know is in documents, pages and pages of documents. There's people out there that's taking the time and the energy and resources to give people that information. Now, if you go to this information, silent weapons for quiet wars, yeah, they tell you, right, how they're using economic science, yeah, and psychology and all different things. That's why they call it silent weapons for quiet wars. Forget World War III. Sorry, forget the hardware of World War III. That everybody thinks that World War III is going to be some major artillery, like hardware weapon. Yeah, it's not. It's going to be quiet. It's right now, happening right now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's subtle. It's very, very subtle. Yeah, and it's in all different places in different forms. There's so many different ways you can die now. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm saying. 6 million ways to die. Choose one. Right? This is what I'm talking about.
Technology to kill you now without touching you.
Right, yeah? So what I'm saying is, yeah, there's a weapon. Go and do some research. You can go to weathermodificationhistory.com, yeah? Right? You can go to talking about this weapon called... Go and look into laser weapons. They're saying that there's this weapon called direct energy weapons, right? The only problem is, right, there isn't, like, they know that there's some weapons there. We just don't know how they're doing it directly. If they're using planes, right? Or the
most scariest I ever was when I see that you use a weapon by one of these superpower governments, which was in Russia about a decade and a half ago, when I was watching some newsreel when the Chechen Russian Muslim terrorists in Chechnya went and took over a theatre in Russia full of people and planted mined all over the place and booby traps and all this. And when the Russian intelligence come, Russian soldiers come, after a siege of the Muslim siege effect, there were hundreds of people hostages there for a couple of days. The Russian Secret Service and the Russian military they didn't force themselves in the place. Because the terrorists said they come there, they're going to blow everything up and kill all the people in there.
You need to
rush the place.
Right. So
what they've done, they drilled holes in the wall. The Russian military and secret service drilled holes in the wall of the theatre place and pumped in tons of gas, tons and tons and tons, loads and loads of gas that had no scent to it, had no smell to it, but killed everybody in the place.
So where was this? You saying?
In Russia.
Okay, I know Russia.
When the Russian terror took over a theatre and held a lot of people hostage.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
And the Russian military and the Russian secret services just pumped the whole place.
Yeah, no, because
the Russian in the place, they pumped the whole place full of this gas that had no scent to it. They killed everyone in the place.
Right. So you
the hostages and the terrorists.
Okay, so I hear what you're saying, and that's what I'm
saying that there's sort of weapons, man. Whether they kill you all in London,
yeah,
or putting that gas in all of us, in it, we wouldn't smell it.
Yeah,
that's true. You.
Yeah, so you're saying
it's got no scent.
Right, so you're saying that there's a gas that's scentless that can kill. It's senseless. It's doesn't have no smell. It's doesn't have no smell, right?
If it doesn't have no smell, yeah.
So you can see that it's a gas, though, isn't it?
Nah.
You can't see it's a gas.
Nah, it's invisible.
It's invisible.
Invisible.
Right, that's serious. Because
it's invisible and got no smell, and you breathe it in, it kill you.
Wow, that's serious.
They do it on the terrorists and the people in Russia and the Russian government use it against the terrorists and kill the terrorists and the hostages. Kill 100 hostages and like 15, 20 terrorists. Men and women terrorists, tested terrorists.
Yeah.
And what I thought was, I said, it was a clever way to get them, and they should have killed all the bloody hostages, man.
Well,
they should have found a way to get the hostages and kill the terrorists, not kill anybody.
Yeah, that's right. But what? This is what I'm saying.
But more frightened with the type of gas they used.
Yeah.
No scent to it, no smell, no sight. You can't see it.
Yeah.
You can't smell it, and it kills you.
Yeah, well, weapons like that should be illegal. Do you get what I'm saying? It should be illegal, right? And that's what I'm saying to you, that there's governments out there, they're stockpiling all these silent weapons, okay? Yeah? And I don't think a lot of people realise that they're under attack right now. This is World War III. We're living in World War III. This is World War III. Yeah? Now, I don't know if you realised, okay? I'm going to just get you to wrap up, yeah?
Yeah.
That there's been a lot of disasters all around the world.
Loads. Flooding,
right.
Fires.
Right. Yeah?
Suicides.
Yeah. Okay?
Mass shootings.
Yes. Right?
Drownings.
Yeah. So...
Infanticide, children killing children.
Yeah. So you see...
Families killing each other over not blood they're marrying. Or dating. So
you see that we're living in a world.
Government's killing poor people. Oh, it's terrible, but it's terrible.
Yeah. So like I said,
bad things happening, man. Loads.
Yeah? Right. So what I'm saying is, yeah, I'm talking about the technological effects of some of the weapons that's not even come out yet, but they're starting to use them now. Like I said, what we need to be looking at, right, is these weapons that they're using right now, yeah, and how we can, I don't know how to say this, yeah, but how we can stop these things from happening, yeah, because, you know what I'm saying, they can't go around thinking that they can just do whatever they want, right, without being accountable for their actions. There needs to be...
Yeah. So come off them, come off that side, sure.
Cool.
But my last point is, I'll come on very quickly, is the strongest weapon I've seen evidence of that these in the grove that people can use against people, which I think they're using against the black youth at the moment, so they can all stab one another, is mind control. You know, SAYSHARA, I'm coming off now.
Right.
Big up, Jumbo.
Yeah, Jumbo, yeah. All right, listen to this. Hold on.
Don't worry if you can't hear what I'm saying. I couldn't even hear myself. This is the loudest sound you could possibly conceive. And as it turns out, the cleanest. Now, the most amazing thing is that that cloud up there, which was generated by the engine, is just a mixture of hydrogen and oxygen. It's water vapor. And in about an hour's time, someone in Mississippi is going to get wet washing. It will actually rain. I told you. It's raining. That's unbelievable. Oh. NASA's playing God. It's making its own weather.
Alright, you hear that? Alright, you hear that? Jeremy Clarkson, okay. Remember Jeremy Clarkson from Top Gear, alright? So anyway, he observed this machine, innit, that can make clouds that can make rain, alright? There it is. NASA's got the machine. Okay, just to let you know that it's real. It's real. Yeah, they weren't even trying to hide it. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is that there's a lot of information. Obviously, some of these secret. So let me take that back. Some of these inventions, okay, obviously they're gonna keep as secret. That's what intelligence is about. Yeah, is making sure that you're going to hold on to the information. You're going to keep this information secured, okay? So no one's going to get information. That's why they give you propaganda. They'll give you aliens and UFO stories, for examples, okay, to deflect that they're actually there with their weapons out there doing something, yeah? But they'll give you all kinds of propaganda to kind of deflect what's actually taking place, or to redirect you somewhere else. You get what I'm saying? So you're not actually focusing on what's really happening. Yeah? And this is what's taking place in so many different ways that people need to understand. Now, I've got a text here from 753. Thanks, 753, saying, greetings, SAYSHARA. Boston Dynamics has been around for years, but slowly coming out to public. Everything seems to be smart, even smart water. And this is right. Yeah, everything. They're gonna make smart towns, smart cities. Yeah, and they're gonna make smart homes. All right, and what they're looking to do, they're gonna do everything possible to centralize the technology in your house, for example. And I think that's the thing about smart meters. Yeah. Now, going back to the California fire. Yeah. As I was saying, a lot of people's talking about this laser technology, or what they call DEW, direct energy weapons. All right. To understand these things, okay, you have to understand. But you don't really need to know the fundamentals. Okay, you don't need to understand the calculations or the inside operations of how these things actually work, all right? But you just need to know it's there, and what are the consequences of this if it affects us, or if we've been targeted, yeah, or individuals have been targeted. All right, there's lots of information out there for people if they really care or interested. I'm only just touching the surface of what's happening. Yeah, you can go to for example, California wildfires, directed energy weapons theory. Yeah. Or you can go to targeted individuals, innocent Americans still tortured with direct energy weapons. Okay? Because people are saying that it's an arson attack. It's an attack on the American people. And if they can do that to their own people, imagine. If you think that these people are playing, right? These people are not playing. They're talking about changing this whole world. Yeah? They're talking about the new world order. Right? It's a big talk. They're talking about Agenda 21. Now, if people don't want to accept what Agenda 21 is, go and read the documents. Go and read their documents. Yeah, it's out there. Yeah? It's out there. Don't go by what they're spinning about sustainable development. That's all a load of crap of bull. You know what I'm saying? To spin it, to make it look like that they're actually doing something good when actually they're doing the opposite. You know what I'm saying? It's just like with global warming and climate change. They're telling you that they're going to do all this stuff to protect the whole planet Earth, and they're doing the opposite. They're actually accelerating climate warming and climate warming and global change and all this stuff, right? They're actually accelerating it. Do you know what I'm saying? Because why is all these things happening? No one can explain it. Now, they said about the California fires that, yeah, they do have a lot of fires, agreed. Yeah? And that statistically, they're saying that California has between about 4,000 fires every year since up to 2011. Since 2011, them fires have more than doubled to 9,000 a year since 2011. Okay? But like I said, these particular fires are not ordinary fires. The buildings were demolished. They were even saying that the trees were still standing, that they weren't affected, right? How can that be possible? You know what I'm saying? If we're talking about wildfires, you see, they give you the spin, yeah, they give you the buzzword, yeah, they give you these slogans, these terms of expressions. They keep on repeating it over and over again. So you subscribe to it, you accept it, you believe in it. Right? And then you buy into it, and then you accept that's what it is. It's a wildfire. Right? But you can't explain. How can you explain wildfires? Temperatures don't burn metal, molten we're talking about very high temperatures of heat burning cars, filing cabinets, cookers, things that you can't burn with a normal fire. Yeah, there's a lot of things that never burn, but yet the tree's still standing right next to somebody's demolished house. Yeah, how do you work that one out? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think we do need to look at smart meters, and just to let you know, just to touch on it, yeah, because I'm actually going to be running out of time. I'm looking at the time. I've got 2 minutes left, right? All right, so I've got a couple of minutes left, yeah. Let me touch on this California thing, yeah. I got this article just to confer with you that I don't know what the motives are. Whatever the reasons are, I've no idea. You can only speculate. If it is a direct energy weapons attack, okay, and I definitely can tell you they got the technology. They're saying that you can't see it. You can't see it. Yeah, it's invisible. Normally, if you watch, for example, Star Wars and all of these scientific films or programs, yeah, you see them with their laser weapons, they're firing these projectiles, okay, of laser weapons. They may be white, they may be green, they may be red, they may be yellow, right? But they're saying that this is invisible. This is like a certain amount of energy that's been projected or it's been targeted at your particular home or particular environment that you're in, yeah? And we're talking about electromagnetic fields, which has been around quite a long time, yeah? And because of it, we can enjoy all these high-performing computers, microwave ovens, and many other wireless technology. Yeah, and everyone is exposed to unprecedented levels of man-made EMFs. Okay, this is. I think the reason why a lot of people don't get this radiation thing, this EMF, and all of this stuff. Okay, is because you can't see it. Yeah, you can't see the energy that it's emitting, or it's actually releasing. You can't see it, so people think, well, it's harmless. You can't see it, right? But it's the things that you can't see that you need to be worried about. Yeah, really, because this article says that the safety of EMF exposure is controversial because there are pro-technological people who believe that these artificially created EMFs are completely safe, and that on the other hand, studies suggest emerging to demonstrate that EMFs, including non-ionizing ones, may be unsafe. Okay, so there's two different perspectives. Yeah, there's people that think that all this some of this technology to do with EMF is safe, and there's people out there that say, well, nah, they're unsafe. And there's research on both. You'll find that there's stuff that people will defend. Some of this stuff, they will defend it all day long because obviously they're going to want to protect their business. Okay, they're going to want to protect their industry. They want to protect their their profits. Okay, and so they're going to try and find a way to defend some of this stuff that's dangerous to us. Yeah, now this article was very interesting because I looked at some stuff to do with California, and like I said, what was the motive for them to basically want to displace people, out of their homes? Because that's what's happening. There's a lot of places that you go around in the world. What they're doing with this New World Order, Agenda 21, is that in a lot of countries, everyone's being displaced. The people's moving from, it's like an exodus. People's moving from one area to another area. Everywhere you go, and people are displaced in one shape or another. They're just finding different ways to displace people off these lands. And this is what's going on. A lot of it's been going on this year, and it's been going on for the past few years. But especially this year, it's accelerated. And there's been more fires, there's been more tsunamis, there's been more hurricanes, earthquakes, thunders. This is not no prophecy out of the Bible we're talking about. This is all to do with man-made. They're actually what you call fulfilling these prophecies themselves. They're doing it. Man is actually doing it. Man is tampering with nature. He's tampering with creation. And that's what's happening right now. But this article was really interesting. With acquisition of California port, China broadens influence on U.S. commerce. Because there's two reasons. There is another motive, but we need to be clear on it. One of them was that they're saying that they're going to build a highway, a fast highway speed train line across parts of California. But one or two people saying, nah, it doesn't, where the fires were, it don't really correlate. So some people are saying that it's not that. They don't think it's that. Some people are saying it's that. However, that's one of the ideas that's been put out there. And the second one is that they're saying that the Chinese run California. They own it. They bought it. I don't know. But I watched something to do with the ex-governor of California, Arnold Schwarzenegger. All right? Remember him? Terminator. Anyway, Arnold Schwarzenegger was a governor. Can you believe? The governor of California. And he even said it some years ago that Chinese practically own California. And he said that years ago. Do you know what I'm saying? So what's actually going on? Now, the funny thing is, we know that China is in $1 trillion debt to to America, and I think they've got trillions investments in America. Trillions. Yeah? We don't, you know what I'm saying? Listen to this, just listen to this article I'm reading out, yeah? Very interesting, yeah? To get you to know what's actually happening, because we don't know everything, yeah? It says, recent weeks, numerous national security concerns have been raised regarding Chinese corporations and their increasing ownership of American businesses and trading ports. This alarm comes in the wake of China's largest shipping company, COSCO Shipping Holdings Company, taking control of a major U.S. trade terminal in Long Beach, California. The Long Beach acquisition is part of a COSCO $6 billion buyout of rival Asian shipping giant, the Hong Kong-based Orient Overseas International Limited. Whereas COSCO's ownership of the California port is a smart move for the Chinese economy, American trade insiders have expressed skepticism.
Genesis Radio thanks you for your visit.
Yeah, always go to www.genesisradio.co.uk and also YouTube channel SAYSHARA, and check out my information. Yeah, it's there. All right, so look, let me go back to this article. Yeah, it's called "With Acquisition of California Port, China Broadens Influence on U.S. Commerce." Now, a lot of people don't realize how much influence China has over America. No one doesn't really know, but this article reveals all. Let me continue. Whereas COSCO's ownership of the California port is a smart move for the Chinese economy, American trade insiders have expressed skepticism over the acquisition benefits for the United States, worried it may be jeopardizing national security. The Committee on Foreign Investment in the U.S., CFI-US, a federal panel tasked with reviewing foreign purchases of American businesses by foreign entities, recently investigated COSCO's seizure of Orient Overseas, expressing strong national security concern and uncertainty about the Chinese corporation's intentions. This review followed President Trump's refusal to, listen to this, the review followed President Trump's refusal to allow Singaporean-owned tech company Broadcom to purchase the California-based telecommunications giant Qualcomm. Qualcomm, spelled Qualcomm. The president's decision largely informed by CFI-US concerns that the American company would be undermined easily, allowing China to gain an advantage over the United States in microchip technology. Many Americans have expressed opposition to the COSCO purchase and have encouraged the CFI-US to block China's takeover of the major California port. Rick Manning, president of Americans for Limited Government, discussed the topic in May, saying in a statement, quote, "Under no circumstances should CFI-US permit China to take over management or effective control over the port of Long Beach, a critical channel for foreign commerce, but one that must remain under US control. Long Beach serves as a gateway to and from Asia. In order to ensure that our national and economic security needs are met, neither the Chinese government nor a state-run companies should be controlling such critical infrastructure." He added, CFI-US needs to just say no to the deal. The COSCO acquisition also comes during a time of increased tension between China and the United States, with both countries' leaders threatening to levy new tariffs and sanctions, and public officials raising concerns of an all-out trade war between the two nations. California's trading ports have long been a point of contention for international relations. In the mid-1990s, during Bill Clinton's campaign for his second presidential term, the Clinton administration worked towards ensuring a Chinese shipping company with communist ties received a good deal on another Long Beach shipping terminal. The bad China deals didn't stop with Clinton either. Under the Obama administration, US-China relations shifted with Obama positioning the United States as a partner to China rather than a competitor. As the US became less competitive with China in the name of international cooperation, the Obama administration gradually began to allow more and more Chinese conglomerates to buy American properties and businesses. The Democratic-backed policies that gave China trade advantages are in part responsible for the development of the current state of affairs in which China has a disproportionately large influence on American commerce. President Trump has taken steps to put America first again, threatened to slap what he did, a 25% tariff on $50 billion worth of Chinese tech exports. However, the Costco purchase is still set to be finalized this month. Within the past several years, China has rapidly advanced its strategy to weaken the American dollar, destabilize our economy, and replace the United States as the dominant economic world power. The increasing Chinese ownership of American industry is actively weakening our country while diminishing our national security and self-reliance. And to conclude, it says President Trump has President Trump has taken a strong stance on China, addressing the trade deficit and the country's theft of American intellectual property. If Americans wish to curb China's influence on American commerce and our economic strength, we must follow President Trump's lead. We know the country aims to subvert our world power and economic dominance. We must not let them. Okay? So that's a real critical view on China control in America. No one's really talking about that. No one's talking about the trillions of assets. Sorry, the trillions of assets in America where Chinese people, governments, corporations, organizations have invested their money. I think they was talking about 19 trillion. It sounds like crazy money, yeah? America's already a trillion down. And the thing is, this reminds me, this is like reminiscent of Maggie Thatcher, who was the first woman prime minister in this country back in the 70s, in the late 70s and 80s. She had, I think, a 13-year spell for Conservative. She was one of the, you could say, pioneers of free enterprise, where people who were immigrants could come and buy whatever they want, invest in whatever they want in this country. She was the one that started selling off all of the amenities and the resources and whatever. She could just sell whatever. It was free for all. She started that. Yeah? And it's the same thing they've done in America. Sell whatever they can, get what they can now, and, leave the people with the consequences of the aftermath of the effects of that. It's all about what people can get now, right? And the people will suffer, if not now, later on. And so you see here, once again, China has been allowed, you could say, to flex its muscles, because think about it. If, China, they've allowed China to be able to do all this stuff, innit? Yeah? China's on one of the leading council members, of the United Nations, right? So they're doing all these deals with China in secret, I would imagine, allowing China to spread its tentacles wherever they can and do whatever they can. Now they're causing problems in the Caribbean. Now they're causing problems in Africa. I think recently I heard the Kenyan government refuse $3.1 billion to invest in some infrastructure. I'm not sure if it's telecommunication or something. yeah, but he refused it, yeah. And I mean, you know, we've had a few governments refusing the Chinese loans. I mean, these are loans. Just be careful. And I think I was reading something about even Zimbabwe. I think Zimbabwe sold, well, not sold, but because they were in debt to China, yeah, they've had to acquisition one of their ports. We don't know how much of this goes on. This is what I'm saying, how dangerous it is to actually lend money or to borrow money, yeah? From, it doesn't matter if it's from the Europeans, you know, from the Chinese or wherever. They're gonna, obviously, if you can't pay the money back, you're gonna have to give up something, innit? And that's what it's about. And these governments in Africa and the Caribbean, they ain't talking about that, are they? That's why they've sold out. Yeah, they're not telling people. If they tell people, it wouldn't be so bad, but they're not telling. They're keeping it a secret. They're hiding from it, hiding information from people because they know, right, that obviously, you know, it could affect the government being held accountable by the people, which should happen. This is what should happen. Yeah, we know there's a big furore going on in France right now. People ain't happy. They're not really talking about it this much, this in the mainstream media right here, right now. You know what I'm saying? There's, you know, France is burning up right now with these protesters and demonstrators around the cost of oil or petrol, yeah? And the French, they don't mess around. They take things serious out there, yeah? So, that really, I don't think I can really say anything more at the present moment because of time. I don't know when I'm going to get through to cover some of the stuff that I really want to talk about to do with this technology. I wanted to actually go through some articles, okay, and in-depth articles covering the effects of EMF, as I said. I'm talking about man-made EMF or man-made radiation, because you've got natural radiation, which is coming from the sun, and then you've got all this man-made radiation. Some of it they call dirty, what they call dirty electricity. Yeah, they call it dirty electricity, okay? So, anyway, electromagnetic fields or frequency or force is what we're having to deal with when we're talking about radio waves, Wi-Fi signals, microwave radiation, visible lights, UV lights, infrared radiation are all considered forms of EMF, yeah? And obviously it depends on the intensity of the EMF. Is going to depend on how much it's going to harm, okay? You got low frequency EMF radiation, you got high frequency EMF radiation, you got EMFs which are harmful, okay? And I've got a diagram here giving you the electromagnetic spectrums in wavelengths and in frequency, okay? And obviously the more EMF, the more frequency or force or fields are going to be emitted, okay? Emitted in the atmosphere or in our environment or in our homes or on our persons when we're talking about smartphones as well, yeah? We have to look at that and iPads and things like that, yeah? Now, it's been given that too much EMF exposure will cause a problem, and according to Dr. David Cohen, Professor of Physics at Massachusetts Institute of Technology, that to detect the magnetic fields from the human heart and brain, that it's important to know that the mitochondria and the liver enzymes also operate based on electrical conductivity and light energy. Okay, so basically we have a lot of electricity ourselves. We have a certain amount of electricity anyway, yeah, naturally in us, yeah. And they can tell you how much frequency we resonate at, yeah. Anyway, just to touch on how much EMF exposure is safe, it says there that the higher the frequency an EMF is, the more energy it carries and the more likely it is to be dangerous. Power density, the average energy of the electromagnetic wave in a given area of volume, and the strength of the electrical and magnetic fields that are present, and the duration of exposure. Prolonged duration is usually worse than acute duration for the same levels of EMF. Okay, and just like I was saying that recently, like I said, if you go to Wireless Warfare Exposed, go to the description box underneath, and you see some links. And one of the things that they were saying is that you should use the phone at a safe distance away from your ears. Okay, at least 3 centimeters, I would have said, yeah, to avoid obviously the radiation. It's interfering with your frequencies in your body. Okay, anyway, quickly, just to wrap up, just to let you know some of the symptoms related to EMF exposure, which are chronic high levels of low frequency EMF exposure can result in insomnia, anxiety, depression, brain fog, dizziness and vertigo, frequent illness, HPA, axis dysfunction, also known as adrenal fatigue, hormone imbalances, cancer, or increased in cancer risk. Alright? So it says, therefore, EMF exposure is not healthy, and fortunately it is still possible to reduce EMF exposure and take steps to mitigate potential harms from EMF radiation. So basically you need to look at how much radiation is got in your homes. For example, I think you can get radiation detectors or meters, okay, that can tell you how much radiation is in your environment. Yeah, I think there's loads of things that you can get to detect how much gas is in your environment and things like that. Yeah. It's obviously it's not realistic to say that you can avoid all man-made EMFs, okay, but they're saying there are some simple steps that you can take to reduce exposure. It says avoid living near strong sources of EMF radiation. You know radiation is dangerous, isn't it? Because you've had some of these nuclear plants that have either leaked or damaged, and they've had to obviously once they become like that, then they start leaking radiation, yeah, and they need to be quickly repaired, or you'll find that the radiation is going to kill. Yeah. Also it says avoid living near like I said, repeating this, okay, avoid living near strong sources of EMF radiation. Very strong sources of EMF radiation can present significant health risks. These include smart meters, radio stations, oh wow, I shouldn't be here, electrical generators, power lines, and electrified tracks. An Italian study found that adults and children who live within 3 kilometers of a high power radio station are at a higher risk of developing glaucoma than others. Therefore, you want to consider having these EMF sources removed or moving away from them. Also, it says it may not be possible to avoid electricity and devices that generate EMF, but it is possible to reduce EMF exposure. This is particularly important in the bedrooms or when sleeping. We can reduce EMF exposure by keeping appliances and devices off or on airplane mode as much as possible. Hardwire internet connections rather than using Wi-Fi. If Wi-Fi use is necessary, only turn it on when in use and turn off the Wi-Fi router at night. Hardwire computer peripherals rather than using wireless or Bluetooth connections. Ensure that your home's electrical wiring is done properly to minimize EMFs. Keep electronic devices, cell phones, tablets, and computers away from your body. This includes using headphones to make calls instead of placing the phones near your ear to speak. Okay? So using normal headphones is a lot safer than putting the phone to your ear to speak. Sleep away from circuit breakers or large appliances that run overnight, including if the appliance is on the other side of the wall. Use protection tools such as defender pads under your laptop and EMF shields for cell phones. So all these things you can look up, okay, and you can get. And basically, the way it works, it draws that energy to a form of diode, okay, or what they say, shields or defender pads, yeah. And it also says filter out dirty electricity using dirty electricity filters. All right. So again, this article is really interesting. It's about, is EMF exposure really a big deal? It's talking about electromagnetic fields, and it says that yeah, I mean, in the last 100 years now, we've been more and more exposed to all of this radiation, unfortunately. Okay? There's consequences to having all of this technology. I'm sorry to say, but that's what it is. But we're getting more and more and more of it, and they're not giving us these warnings. Just like cigarette causing cancer. They kept it secret for a while. They knew what was going to happen, or what would happen if people smoked cigarettes, and you know, if you was addicted to the nicotine, what would happen if you was abusing it. And they never said anything about it. Why? Because it's money, it's profits, it's a business, and government's getting paid. They're getting taxes out of it. So, you know, the government's in cahoots with corporations, the corporations in cahoots with industries, the industries in cahoots with institutions, the institutions are in cahoots with everything and everybody. Yeah? This is what's happening, and they're keeping quiet about some of the things that we should be aware of, okay? And I think, personally speaking, it wouldn't be so bad if they said, look, right, you know, they warned us. It wouldn't be so bad if they warned us. But they don't. You know what I'm saying? And then allow us to make our own informed decisions as to whether or not we're going to take this thing on, innit? I think that some of these technologies, please do not be too quick or fast to buy them, because you're fueling this whole thing, innit? Yeah, some of the technology that they're going to bring out, just don't buy it. Because if you don't buy it, they can't sell it. Yeah? And, you know, they're just going to have to give it up. Yeah? And I think that we need to be clear. I'm not here to frighten people, but it's just that the technology is really out of control now. It's out of control. And they're just the ruling class of the elite. Just be clear, the ruling class of the elite, yeah, they're in a place where they're taking advantage of people right now. They got all these secrets. They know what's going to come out in 50 years' time. They know. Yeah? So they can start predicting things, or they can start setting things in plan. Alright? But one of the things that they're talking about is this 5G, which is the next mobile technology, or not so much mobile, but the next generation of advancing in telecommunications, essentially, yeah. But there's always two sides to things. I mean, you're just going to see the side that everything looks good, everything looks fine, there isn't a problem. That's how we're going to be looking at things. But we need to be a little bit smart. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that this old technology is going to outsmart us eventually if we don't pay attention to what's going on. Yeah, it's going to outsmart us. Yeah? And they're like I said, they're going to be coming out with these quantum computers, which are totally something else. And I think they're talking about, they don't really want to, I don't know what they're saying, but they're saying that they don't really want to release these quantum computers technology because they might take over. And it's going to be a little bit like robot wars. So, you know, they're saying that they're even saying that they're scared to deal with this technology, the quantum computers, and what it can do. All right, because they're I don't know, they're saying that maybe these computers can be much more intelligent than us. Yeah. Anyway, it goes on to say that obviously the more bandwidth, the more dangers with this whole thing to do with 5G. And just to give you a little touch around the serious health concerns, okay? There's been many studies associated with what they call RFR, which is radio frequency radiation, yeah? But it says there many studies have associated low-level radio frequency radiation exposure with a litany of health effects, including DNA single and double strand breaks, which leads to cancer, oxidative damage, which leads to tissue deterioration and premature aging, disruption of cell metabolism, increased blood-brain barrier permeability, melatonin reduction leading to insomnia and increasing cancer risk, disruption of brain glucose metabolism, and generation of stress proteins leading to a myriad of diseases. All right, so it says there that the new 5G technology utilizes higher frequencies, mmW bands, which are which is millimeter waves, okay, between 30 gigahertz and 300 gigahertz. All right, So that's millimeter waves, which give us the same dose of radiation as airport scanners. The effects of these radiation on public health have yet to undergo the rigors of long-term testing. Adoption of 5G will mean more signals carrying more energy through the high frequency spectrum, with more transmitters located closer to people's homes and workplaces. Basically a lot more more potent RFR flying around us. It's no wonder that apprehension exists over potential risks to both human and environmental health. And it says there, perhaps the strongest concern involves adverse effects of millimeter waves on human skin. This letter to the Federal Communication Commission from Dr. Yao Steen of Jerusalem's Hebrews University outlines the main points. Over 90% of microwave radiation is absorbed by the epidermis and dermis layers, so human skin basically acts as an absorbing sponge for microwave radiation. Disquieting as this may sound, it's generally considered acceptable so long as the violating wavelengths are greater than the skin layer's dimensions, but millimeter waves violate this condition. Alright, so basically what they're saying is, obviously depending on the intensity or the density of the millimeter waves on human skin, that it can affect, obviously high levels of radiation. You got to look at what radiation could do to people. Yeah, I was watching a documentary on a woman, a black woman. She said that she was targeted. She was a targeted individual. Yeah, and this target individual thing is not no joke. Yeah, in fact, just to remind everybody not to forget Marty Jean's Culture Market, Sunday the 16th of December 2018, 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. as a new regular spot, which is Loughborough Centre, 105 Angel Road, Brixton, SW9, S7PD. It's going to be hosted by Celebi and Nat Nye, Libation Chief Nana Amlock. Invited special guests, the 3 Queen Warriors, 7 Target Warrior, creator of many worldwide award-winning TV production that was stolen. Very interesting sister. You're going to be looking forward to hearing more about her, I'm sure. You can tune into some of her information. She's on YouTube. She's got some stuff going on there. Also, we've got Natalie, author of Remote Control, and another sister called Naomi speaks of her own personal experiences of being targeted. You've got Galactic Clyde, Mind Control for Protection and Empowerment. And then you've got your usual stuff of open mic, poets, singers, musicians, and spoken word artists. Okay? So you can go for more information. You can call Auntie Jean on 07961 886 032. Repeat, for further information for stalls or for further information, you can call 07961 886 032 for Auntie Jean's African Culture Market. Now, I'm expecting people to turn up, okay, because these sisters got some very interesting stories to tell about their own personal experiences, and I think that we can learn a lot from these sisters, and I think it's important that we take the time to go and check out this particular event, okay, that's coming up on December the 16th for Sunday, 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. That's going to be at Loughborough Centre, 105 Angel Road, Brixton, SW9 7PD. All right. So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting because all of these sisters got something to say that's relevant to what we're talking about right now. Yeah. And some of the things that we've been talking about in the past as well, what Seven has been talking about. If you read her story, read into her story, you see this sister's very powerful. She's got a lot of information, a lot of things to say. Yeah. The other two sisters are talking about, actually, they may be under some sort of mind control, psychological effects or techniques or methods, okay, where they're going to be talking about their experiences, okay, and you know, this is what targeting individuals is primarily all about. Yeah, so people need to do the research. Radiation is not a very good thing to be affected by, because it does burn up your skin. Of course, it's radiation. It's going to burn your skin. Yeah, it's going to burn the inside of your brains. It's going to burn anything. It just burn anything, isn't it? Yeah. You have to look at radiation. It's invisible, but you have to look at radiation like, how can I explain it? If it's like mercury. You have to look at radiation like mercury. You know what I'm saying? Yeah? Mercury is highly, highly toxic. Okay? And so we live in a highly volatile, toxic environment. There's a lot of danger out there. Your local government, your national governments, your politicians, your diplomats, your bureaucrats, none of these people are informing the people about actually what's going on right now. They're not doing it. Alright? And a lot of these corporations and these industries, they're allowed to sell some of these things without any warnings. It's amazing what kind of world that we're living in. You thought that with all this technology and advance in you know, the uses of technology, that would use the technology to enhance our lives, to enhance our homes, to enhance our environment, to enhance this planet Earth. But you tell me, why do I see, like I said, we're connected to the world right now. We're connected to the whole planet Earth, right? We know what's going on the other side of the world, from north, south, east and west. We know what's happening. People are relaying information spontaneously as we speak right now about what's taking place. These disasters, these man-made disasters, how they're displacing people from their land areas, these different places. Yeah? It's not a coincidence. Right? The technology has accelerated and it's out of control. You got these governments, they got these mad scientists in their pockets running riot. Yeah? And you got these politicians that we pay our taxes, they're not protecting us. Yeah? I remembered growing up, I was so enthusiastic around Tomorrow's World. I thought Tomorrow's World was the most elaborate show to talk about the technology and what we can do with the goodness of the technology. And Tomorrow's World was a program that we used to watch years ago. I remember watching it years ago anyway, growing up. Talking about the latest inventions and the latest technological feat and engineering, and you know, the future was bright. I'm talking about 40, 30 years ago. When this program was coming out, Tomorrow's World. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking now, 20, 30, 40 years, I'm looking at all the technology, and I'm seeing that governments, especially superpowers, yeah, these industrial developed countries, mainly the Europeans, Americans, you know what I'm saying? And you've got the Chinese, they're all involved, yeah? They're all building up these technological weapons, right? And then, alright, you don't mind if they got all these weapons, but why they think they need to use it on people? Why they experiment on people? Yes, I'm saying? America has become, and I've said it before some time ago, America is just one laboratory. They go there and they do all these experiments there, right there, on people. I think they was talking about the chip, right? Which is about the size of less than the size of a grain rice. That they've already chipped people. I've got information where they said that from 2014 in Europe, they've been chipping babies, right? They're even talking about chipping people in their brains. Yeah, they're going to put chips in your brain. Yeah? Everyone's talking about this is the mark of the beast and all of this stuff, okay? And they get all, you know, biblical and prophetic and all of this stuff, okay? The Bible and all that religious stuff and God, and that's got nothing to do with this right now. This is what we're dealing with, man. Yeah? We're talking about the evil that men do. Yeah? Because you can't tell me that we've got all this technology, right? And we can't make this world a better place. Why is it that everything that man gets, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be a pin, it could be a matchstick. He's going to find a way to kill you with it. It doesn't matter. They're going to find a way to destroy people, lives, animal, plant life, the land, the resources, air, water, sea. This whole planet Earth. They're saying, I remember years ago, they're saying maybe one day this planet Earth is going to blow up. But before then, they're going to find somewhere else to go. You know what I'm saying? So they're talking about, oh, they just landed something in Mars. The other day they talked about they landed some probe in Mars. Now Mars, how far is Mars? Does anybody know how far they're saying that Mars is? They're saying that Mars is about 300 million miles. How the hell are you going to get something there? Please. But anyway, NASA has built an institution based on a lie. That's all they've done. That's what I'm saying. They give you a script, a narrative. Yeah, they give you the language. They disseminate the language. And because people don't investigate anything anyway, people just accept it because it's coming from governments, organizations and associations and affiliates, that we trust our governments with our lives. But these same governments that every government, you could say, preceding each government, they're on an agenda. They're on an agenda. We don't even know what that agenda is because it's secret. It's hidden. They're on a bigger agenda. We know that these governments that we have, the ones that you see, are just a face behind the shadowy governments. It's a shadowy government that's running things. Yeah? So all that stuff to do with Brexit, it's a major distraction to keep you in a loop for the next 5 years. Yeah? They've already planned out your lives already. Your life's already been planned out. They've already planned out what they're going to do for people's lives already for the next 50 years. If we're going to be even lasting that. Yeah? It's already been planned out. Okay? Now, I'm just going to wrap this up. I said I was going to talk a little bit about the vaccines. Yeah? And then I'm done. Yeah? Now, This is another thing that people buy into as well, these vaccines. I tried to tell somebody the other day, yeah, do you know what's in your vaccine? Oh, I've got to take the flu jab. Yeah? Why? Why you got to take the flu jab? You don't have a flu. Oh, it's free. Is it because it's free? Yeah? And they pump it out there. Why people willingly go to take something, inject this thing to pierce your skin and inject something to put in your body, and you don't even know what's in it. And people go around like this all their lives, ignorant. Yeah, and then when you turn around and ask them, and you say to people, look, right, I'm not trying to tell you anything, you know. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. Yeah, if you want to do whatever you want to do, go ahead. All I'm saying is this, yeah. Do you know what's in your vaccine? All right. So it says here, most people are unaware that vaccines typically contain, in addition to the viral and bacterial RNA or DNA injected directly into the bloodstream, many of the following fillers. Right? Fillers are things that they fill into these vaccines, into this chemical. Whether it's vaccines or whether it's prescribed drugs or tablets, okay? You need to know what's in them. What's the side effects? What's the harms? What's the cause? You need to know. Yeah? You have a right to know these things. Okay? You can ask your doctor, your GP or whatever. Right? You have a right to know that. But this article gives you in full length details. Yeah? There's some good people out there putting in work. Right? Exposing a lot of stuff that shouldn't be happening. Yeah? I could talk about this for days. Yeah? There's doctors that do talk about it, and scientists that do talk about it. In fact, there's a long list of scientists. I think there's a website you can go to, deadscientist.com or something like that, where a lot of scientists have been suspiciously, under some real suspicious circumstances, have died, been killed or murdered. In some cases, you know they've been murdered. It's not an allegation, it's a fact. They've been murdered. I think recently I was watching some news channel the other day, and it was talking about Dr. David Kelly. Do you remember? He was the one that was in charge of actually monitoring the Iraq. In fact, he was investigating the Iraqi, their military industrial complex, or whether or not they was making nuclear weapons, okay? Whether or not they had, is it plutonium or some chemical anyway that you need to make to get these nuclear weapons, yeah? Or to make a nuclear reactor, all right? So they said, going back to Dr. David Kelly, what did they do? These people are lying, yeah? Because they give you one report, then they give you another report, and then they, you know what I'm saying? They don't actually tell the truth, yeah? The first thing they said is that he committed suicide and he cut his wrist, right? They said he's walking with his dog, right? He's walking with his dog. Do you know anybody that's going to walk their dog and they're going to cut their wrist, going to commit suicide? Anyway, they said that he committed suicide, he cut his wrist, but when forensics went there and they've done their report, there weren't no blood. What are you talking about? What do you mean there's no blood? But he cut his wrist. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah? Straight away everyone knows there's something wrong there. You know what I'm saying? And these are the things that happens, that goes on. This is not no espionage story I'm spinning, okay? This is things that's happening, yeah? That governments in different places around the globe, okay? Just like what you saw in Saudi Arabia the other day, yeah? With that journalist, right? That they killed. They're murdered. And they even had to admit it in the end, didn't they, the government of Saudi Arabia? They admitted it. And then they said it was an assassination. Right? So we know how these people get down. Down, evil and dirty. Right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah? And sometimes they make mistakes and get caught. Or they get exposed by whistleblowers. But what I'm saying is, when you become a whistleblower, when you become dangerous to them, when you become a threat to them, then they'll be looking to take you out. Alright? And this is what's happening. So a lot of scientists and doctors and whistleblowers. Yeah? So there are good people out there. There was always good people out there. The problem is that the few evil people out there, they're being protected. They've got so much resources available to them. They've got so much money. They've got so much connections. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah? That it's difficult, really difficult to get the message across, okay, to hold these people accountable or to really expose and give the names of these people who are doing wrongdoing. Alright? So just to clarify, I don't know all the jargon, the what you call the chemical names for what they give, okay? But you can look out for yourself, but it gives you an idea what it is, yeah? Anyway, this is what they call, what they put in your vaccines, or what they call fillers, yeah? Which are chemicals. And if I get the pronunciation wrong, excuse me, okay? Because I'm not in that field of work, right? Chemistry, yeah? But it says here, glycerol, which is antifreeze. Phenol-oxyl-phenol, which is antifreeze, another antifreeze. Sucrose, thimerosal, mercury. Formaldehyde, embalming fluid. Formalin, getulin. Getulin of 40% formaldehyde. Aluminium phosphate, which is a form of fertilizer. Ammonium sulfate, another form of fertilizer. Potassium monophosphate, which is another fertilizer. Tributyl phosphate, which is aircraft hydraulic fluid. Amphotexrin or amphotexrin B, fungus killer. Sorbitol, aspartame, monosodium glutamate, MSG, fast food flavor enhancers. Neomycin, surgical antiseptic. Neomycin sulfate, a topical antibiotic for skin rashes. Phenol red indicator. These are all things that they put in the vaccines, yeah? Aluminium hydroxide, a water insoluble antacid. Potassium diphosphate, laxative, is a form of laxative. Polymyxopin B is a deterrent that leads to cell death. Polysulfurate 20 Clorox made cleaning solution. Polysulfurate E80 food additive in ice cream to prevent milk proteins from coating the fat droplets. Beta propyglactone, disinfectant that is reasonably expected to be a human carcinogen. Anyway, also, so that basically covers chemicals, yeah? Then they're talking about human tissues that they put in these vaccines, okay? So make sure you're not eating anything, yeah? because I don't want to upset your stomach. It says a human diploid cells originating from aborted fetal tissues used as protein to feed the live viruses in the serum. Animal tissues: pig blood, horse blood, sheep blood, rabbit brain, dog kidney, chicken embryo, chicken egg, duck egg, African green monkey kidney cells, porcine pancreatic hydroxylate of casein, amino acids pulled from organs, scoline, shark liver oil that is linked to autoimmune diseases in vaccinated Gulf War veterans, fetal bovine serum plasma extruded from, so let me stop there. Let me say that again. Fetal bovine serum, which is a form of plasma extruded from clotted blood collected from cattle slaughterhouses. Hydrolyzed gelatin extracted from the bones and the skin from pig, cow, and fish origin. Okay, so that is basically the type of things that you're going to find in the vaccines. Now, I don't know what the quantities or what particular types of things, chemicals they're going to put in there, or it's a mixture. I don't think it's all of them, but it's a mixture of all of these different things. Yeah. I don't know what levels of the mixture of things that they put in, but what I'm saying is that they put a mixture of chemicals, a mixture of human tissues, a mixture of animal tissues. Okay? And I know some of the things sounds really weird, because when I first heard it some years ago, I thought, raw, that's some weird stuff that they're putting in. Yeah? It sounds really weird, right? But like I said, you know, you can go to this, you tap in what's in your vaccine, www.thecableVine.com/forum/F36/was-vaccine-1854. Yeah, what's in a vaccine? That's all. You tap in that. What's in a vaccine and see if you can get it. Yeah, I dare you to get that information. It gives you information about, also you can get a letter. This is interesting. You can get a letter, or you can design a letter, or sorry, let me put it properly. There's a letter designed by Ken Anderson. You can give the doctors or physicians anywhere on this earth, okay, and you can get them to sign it. Yeah, but they're not going to sign it. Yeah, it says a physician's warranty of vaccine safety. So you say, I, the physician's name, so there's a decree, and he puts his name in. Yeah, so this would be a form for that physician to fill in. Anyway, I'm just going to read it quickly. It says a physician licensed to practice. It says, I, the physician's name, degree, let's say Mr. Bogeyman, am a physician licensed to practice medicine in the state of, say, London. My state license number is, say, 000, and my DA number is 111. My medical speciality is, you know, I'm just a GP. Just say I'm a GP. It says there, I have a thorough understanding of the risks and benefits of all the medications that I prescribe for or administer to my patients. In the case of patient's name, just say Mr. Blog, age 40, whom I have examined, I find that certain risk factors exist that justify the recommended vaccinations. The following is a list of said risk factors and the vaccinations that will protect against them. And then you can put in the risk factors. He's meant to put in the risk factors and the vaccination, yeah, that he's going to give. And, you know, there's a list of risk factors and vaccinations, okay? So basically you can put it in, yeah? And it says that, and also to say that I'm aware that the vaccine typically contain many of the following fillers: aluminium hydroxide, aluminium phosphate, ammonium sulfate, amphotericin B, animal tissues, pig blood, horse blood, rabbit brain, dog kidney, monkey kidney, chicken embryo, chicken egg, duck egg, calf. You know what I'm saying? You've read it now, yeah? All that stuff, right? So I'm not going to go through that again. But anyway, the long list of stuff I've already read out, right down to washed sheep, red blood, yeah? And then it goes to say, I hereby warrant that these ingredients are safe for injection into the body of my patient. I've researched reports to the contrary, such as reports that mercury thimerosal causes severe neurological and immunological damage, immunological damage, and find that they are not credible. I'm aware that some vaccines have been found to have been contaminated with simian virus 40, SV40, and that SV40 is casually linked by some researchers to non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, mesotheliomas in humans as well as in experimental animals. I hereby warrant that the vaccines I employ in my practice do not contain SV40 or any other live viruses. Alternatively, I hereby warrant that said SV40 virus or other viruses pose no substantive risk to my patient. Thereby I warrant that the vaccines I'm recommending for the care of patient's name, say Mr. Blog, do not contain any tissue from aborted human babies, also known as fetuses. In order to protect my patient's well-being, I have taken the following steps to guarantee that the vaccines I will use will contain no damaging contaminants. And then you put, the doctor's meant to put the steps taken. Then it says, I have personally investigated the reports made to the vaccine adverse event reporting system and state that it is my professional opinion that the vaccines I've recommended are safe for administration to a child under the age of 5 years old. The basis for my opinion are itemized on Exhibit A, attached here to physician's basis for professional opinion of vaccine safety. Please atomize each recommended vaccine separately along with the basis for arriving at the conclusion that the vaccine is safe for administration to a child under the age of 5 years. The professional journal articles I have relied upon is the issuance of the physician's warranty of vaccine safety and itemized on Exhibit B attached hereon to. Scientific articles in support of physician's warranty of vaccine safety. Okay? Then it goes on. It talks about hepatitis B and all of that stuff. It's quite a lengthy letter. Yeah, I'm not going to go into all of it. Anyway, to conclude, it says there on the last page, it says, regardless of the legal entity under which I normally practice medicine, I am issuing this statement in both my business and individual capacities and hereby waive any statutory, common law, constitutional, UCC, international treaty and any other legal immunities from liability lawsuits in the instant case. I issue this document of my own free will after consultation with the competent legal counsel whose name is, and it gives the name of an attorney admitted to the bar in the state of, and the name of attending physician, signature of the attending physician, signed on the day, and a witness, and then you have a notary public. Okay, so that letter is what you would get your doctor or your physician to sign. Yeah, they're not going to sign it because if they sign it and you're going to sue them, innit? Because you're going to say to them, well, you signed that and you said that there weren't no risk factors and all of this stuff, okay? But you're wrong because you didn't do your research. You know what I'm saying? And basically all the stuff that you signed are actually in the vaccines. They're there, and I'm going to sue you for $1 million zillion. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you can do to protect yourself. And this letter, like I said, is done so you can protect yourself. Yeah? Alright? Alright, so look, I've gone over my time. I apologize for actually not getting into the studio in time. Not generally my fault. I was here as usual per time. You know, SAYSHARA is reliable. I'm always here. If I have a problem or if I'm not going to be here, you're going to know about it. I'm going to tell you, yeah, in advance. Alright? So anyway, for anybody who wants to catch up to what I'm talking about or catch up to what SAYSHARA is all about and stuff like that, you can go to YouTube channel SAYSHARA, S-A-Y space S-H-A-R-A. I want to big up Brother G for the last conversation that we had previously about 3 weeks ago. Yeah, he's blowing up, and I'll big up Sister Charmaine. And yeah, I want to pick up all those people that's locked in and tuned in every time. And I kind of I roughed it a little bit, you know what I'm saying? I had to rough it. The studio was upside down. I kind of got through it in the end. It may not be perfect and ideal. I know one of the channels is only coming out when you listen through your speakers. You're only getting one half of the speaker working, right? And obviously we need to improve on our quality. We need to improve on professionalism and time, be more constructive and on point, okay? So I'm definitely going to be saying 1,001 apologies, okay? And I want to say thank you for taking the time and the patience and being tolerant and understanding. Tune in next time, same place. I'll be looking to talk about the black agenda, talking about black leadership, black Masons, black politics or politricks, black economics, black secret societies and black fraternities. And I'll be exposing all the things that shouldn't be happening. Yeah, I'm not trying to make out like I'm better than anybody else, right? But I want to say this much, yeah. I'm not here to be favored with nobody. I'm not looking for friends. I'm only interested in warriorship, not friendship. I'm not interested in no friendship. I'm only interested in warriorship. It's not about personality, all right? It's not about status quo. Oh, you because you're in control of this, or you're in control of that, or you got some sort of status, or you got a lot of people behind you. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people out there, fake leaders out there. Yeah? We've got people that's agents. We got informers. You know what I'm saying? We've got a lot of people that are selling out as quick as you can say, Jack in the Box. We've got more sellouts than at any point in time throughout our story. A lot of people want to compromise without negotiating and negotiate without compromising. In other words, a free for all. Anybody can say anything and do anything. Come in our community, rob, rape, pillage, embezzle, fraud, con, deceive, lie. You know what I'm saying? Don't respect none of that. Yeah? And don't get me wrong. Yeah, there's some people doing good things, but there's some people who are like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. In one sense, they're doing good things, and then behind their back, they're doing the most devilish things. Yeah? So I want to be talking about that. And yes, I'm going to be giving my rendition of everything I talk about is objective. I talk about the most objective things. If you don't want to hear anything, if you want to hear all that positive stuff, right, don't listen to SAYSHARA. SAYSHARA don't talk about positive things. He talks about things that's real. Yeah? You know what I'm saying? Things that affect people's lives every single day. Yeah? And, you know, I'm not here to hurt people's feelings. If you're emotional, you want to get emotional, that's something that the Europeans beat into you. I'm sorry, I can't help you about that. If I'm coming up with truth, if we're coming up with facts, if we're coming up with the evidence, real things, okay? I'm not here to talk about no hairy Mary fairy story or some characters that the Europeans invented to claim that they're civilized and all of this stuff. If you want to follow that, if you want to believe in that, I don't deal with the belief thing. Yeah? And all this fairy stuff about, oh, you know, these Europeans studied for 40 years. 40 years what? What are you talking about? You better had some years onto that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah? How can these people study anything for 40 years? Where did they study anything? Give me the name of the teachers. No information. Oh, they went in the mystery system. A lot of stuff, man. All this institutional lies. I'll break it right down. Yeah? I want to hurt people's feelings. Because you're emotional over information, false information, pseudo information. Yeah? You see what I'm saying? Everything that you've been given to is a lie. Yeah? You're brought up on a lie. You're all running around like Pinocchio, telling lies. You become you know, you can imagine black people become the best liars. They're imitating and emulating their past masters. And we're wondering why we got so much problems. You got this dude, what's his name? Tekashi 6ix9ine, going on like some gangster. Yeah? Yeah. He ain't no gangster. You know what I'm saying? They push these characters around, yeah, and to trick or deceive. You know what I'm saying? That's what's happening. Yeah? Now you got this guy, this dude looking like some punk. And now our young people now, he's only 21, so young people are very, very impressionable. When they see him, they want to be like him. Because he's trending, isn't it? Right? He's talking all this smart talk, isn't it? Yeah? You know what I'm saying? But nobody's checking out where this dude's coming from. Is he an agent? Is he a plant? Is he a stooge? Do you know what I'm saying? You know the black music industry has been taken over. Yeah? And they're using these characters to deceive us. They're using these entertainers to deceive us. Yeah? And while we're trivializing on trivial things, yeah, they're building the next technology to wipe people out. I don't know how many different things they got to wipe people out. But we don't know. Yeah? But we know there's a lot of things that they got. Yeah? They call it silent weapons. Alright? So you see that we're dealing with corporate vampires in our midst. Yeah? They're using the science, they're using the technology, calling it scientific technology, and they're using it to destroy. Yeah? And there's a lot of information out there. You go and pick it up. Alright? And like I said, we've got a lot to learn. We've got a long way to go. Yeah, I'm gonna, like I said, I think we're gonna talk about it next week anyway. Yeah. What they said allegedly, what President Putin said recently. Yeah. What did he say? What did he really say? Yeah. Does anybody know what he said? But then we don't know if he really said it, because there's no real source to say where he said it or when he said it, okay? But they're saying he's saying some really strong stuff, yeah? And I don't know whether or not he said it or not, okay? But mostly a lot of the stuff that they said that he said, we don't know if somebody is actually pushing the propaganda, right? But I want to leave you with this one, okay? You could do, you know, you could do the research yourself, right? If you tap in, I'm doing it right now as I speak, okay? So I can get this information up, right? So everyone knows, yeah, that this is what's been said, and the mainstream media hasn't not said anything about it. It's actually coming from inside Africa. All the information is coming out from Africa, yeah? I don't know if they're pushing out this propaganda, right? But we'll see, yeah? I don't know if he's doing it, yeah? I don't trust Putin. I don't trust the Russian government. I know they're part of the elite, yeah? They're definitely part of the elite. You know, every country has an elite. All right, we got black people. Who are stateless, who are part of the elite. We got the black petite black elite, yeah, or the black bourgeois petite elite, yeah, who are stateless in Europe and in the Americas, as well as in the Caribbean, as well as the continent of Africa, right? So this is the last thing I'm going to leave you with. Russian President Vladimir Putin says Africa is a cemetery for Africans. Now, we could talk about this next week, yeah? But I'm just going to highlight what he said, yeah? Because some people's been on it, right? Now, like I said, I've looked at, there is about 15 different sources in Africa mainly that's talking about that, but that's the only place where it's coming from, so I don't know if he said it for real, yeah? But what they need to do is give us where he said it, or give us the you know what I'm saying, something that you can see he said it, yeah? I don't know, maybe people are interpreting it in some way, yeah? But what he said is very interesting to me, yeah? And I've been saying it for some time. Not everything he's saying, but most of what he's saying, I'm going to show you where. It says, when an African becomes rich, if you can type in Russian president, you can follow me on this. Russian President Vladimir Putin says Africa is a cemetery for Africans, alright? It quotes and saying this, yeah, allegedly. Remember, it says allegedly, yeah? When an African becomes rich, his bank accounts are in Switzerland. He travels to France for medical treatment. He invests in Germany. He buys from Dubai. He consumes Chinese. He prays in Rome or Mecca. His children study in Europe. He travels to Canada, USA, Europe for tourism. If he dies, he will be buried in his native country of Africa. Africa is just a cemetery for Africans. How could a cemetery be developed? Now, the only thing I'm concerned about, because all the other stuff is, whoever said it is on point, 100%. The only problem I have, if he did say that, if I could get the chance to ask him, or if anybody could get the chance to ask him, to get a full context of what he's saying, to get a full proper context of what he's saying, or to elaborate. What is he talking about? Africa is just a cemetery for Africans. How could a cemetery be developed? I know some people got their own ideas about what that could be. So I'm going to carry that forward for next time at the same place here on www.genesisradio.co.uk. And I'm interested to know what people's views are on that. I'm going to be looking to read that out again. Is that important? Is it really important? Well, look, I've been saying it for some time. I'm a nobody. No one's paying any attention to me. I've been saying it for years. But not maybe in one sentence or in a paragraph or, you know, in a quotation. I've been saying it over episodes. You know what I'm saying? About these black leaders. But I'm not just criticizing black leaders. I'm criticizing white leaders, Chinese leaders, Asian leaders, Arab leaders. I'm talking about the ruling classes, the elite that have the power and the influence out there. We know what their game is all about. And that their interest is, they don't care about their people. Just I'm saying that's not their role. That's their job is not to care about people. That's why they're in that position. They don't care about the people. And I'm going to talk about that, yeah? Because as far as I'm concerned, right, we got to hold these leaders to account. Any stupid stuff they're doing, any dumb stuff, any evil, wicked, any wrongdoing, we have to hold them to account. It doesn't matter how small or big it is. It's just got to be like that, innit? We can't be having people going around doing what they want and think they can get away with it. If the Europeans want to go around and do whatever they want, they're going to do that. Anyway, that's a given. Doesn't mean that black leaders should think that they can do the same thing. And that's what's happening. That's why this same thing came out. It's a bit funny, innit? Because it's a bit like the Willie Lynch syndrome, which is a made-up document, but it was relevant. It's relevant to what happened to our ancestors, our people, and the way our people was treated and tortured and murdered and genocide. Do you know what I'm saying? Genocide is taking place right now. Every day. We live in a genocidal environment. Yeah? It so happens you're not affected. It's only when it happens to you, then you realise. But it's a thing like this, isn't it? Don't wait for things to happen to you or your families. Start being active. Start being aware. Start building up your high levels of consciousness and awareness and being. Yeah? Develop that. Alright? So we can come together collectively and we can come and eradicate and eliminate and dismantle this whole system that's perpetuating the killing fields. Yeah? And, you know, it's up to you and it's up to me. It's up to all of us. The power is in your hands. And we need to protect all our rights, because all our rights are being dwindled because we don't have legal aid, we don't get proper representation. Nobody wants to defend poor people no more. Yeah? No one cares about poor people no more. That's the way I'm looking at it. Yeah? And SAYSHARA's view may be perceived in a different dimension, you might say. Yeah? But everyone's got a perception of how they see reality. Yeah? And I ask the question, when it comes to preconceived perceptions, how do you see things? How do you see reality when you have no conception of reality? And that's what's happening to a majority of our people, because they have no idea of reality. Yeah? And we have to be able to transform ourselves into better beings to make this whole planet a better place. Okay, it's not for one small group of people because they got the control. It's not about that. Yeah, it's not for a few people to hold us to ransom, hold us hostage, keeping us repressive, oppressive, and suppressive. And there's always going to be a way out. There's always a way out. There's always a solution. Never give up. No matter how it may sound to you out there, yeah, good will always overcome evil, regardless how evil these people want to be. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah? They cannot take this planet out or this universe out. It's not for them to do that. Alright? So like I said, we was talking about all this smart stuff. Yeah, I'm saying? You know, we have to start getting smart. Don't allow these things to outsmart us, because we're living in dangerous times and we have to protect the future by thinking about what's in the best interest of us and how we need to protect ourselves, our environment, our homes, and our children, and all those good things of nature. Right? I'm going to say, I got a text, and I'm going to say, look, thanks for, and oh, look, it says 308, it says, don't forget, Grenfell was too a man-made fire to kick out and kill the poor right here in a crappy England. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Grenfell Tower, you got to look at that. You got to suspect that's a deliberate attack. This is a lot of things that's going on. Whether you want to call it psyops or false flags, or it was orchestrated, instigated, or fabricated, you know, a lot of these things are theatre, it's dramatized. In other words, the ruling class, the elite, they're living up in a high tower. They're up there somewhere looking down at us like ants. Yeah, they got their feet up. They're just looking at the world, and they're just got a massive chessboard, and they're moving these pieces, the pawns and all of these different pieces. Yeah, playing gods on the planet Earth, right? And this is what's actually taking place. Yeah, this is what's going on. All right, and they're displacing people. In different areas, they're finding different methods. They're getting desperate, in fact. And they're targeting people more and more. And a lot of things may seem like a coincidence to you, but a lot of these things are not. They're dramatizing it. It's a bit like the Roman Colosseum. Yeah. These people, they got all the money. They don't need money no more. What they need is entertainment. We're their entertainment. Yeah? We're their entertainment. It's about life and death to them. Do you get what I'm saying? To them, they don't see life as important. I think there's a word called misanthropic, where they have a disdain for human life. Yeah? These people are prodigious in nature. They don't care about people. Unfortunately, these people got more money than sense. Money isn't an instrument. It's a tool. It's common denominator. It's an integral factor, but it's not the only thing. Yeah, we're dealing with a bunch of psychopaths, sociopaths, who are running this whole planet Earth. Because otherwise, why would it be like this? Why would it? You explain to me, if you got all the answers, if you think that you know what I'm saying, that, you know, these things are just happening because it's a coincidence, right? Why have we got all these organizations out there that's supposed to be talking about humanitarian, protecting people's rights and all this? Why nothing's happening? Why is it they're taking more rights away from people? Why is it that they're destroying people's environment, life, and you know, their homes? Yeah, people. You're talking about gentrification, regeneration, and reconstruction all over the globe. There can't be just a coincidence. Yeah, and like I said, study silent weapons for quiet war. They got documents out there, documents and documents telling you how they're planning this thing out. Yeah, I think I came across some information about Albert Pike. Albert Pike is the founder of the Ku Klux Klan, also a part of some secret society, and they said that he's got some plan that everyone's been following, that he's been planning this whole thing from First World War to Second World War to Third World War. Now, I don't know. I'm just telling you that's what it is. Yeah? They're following somebody else's so-called prophecy. This is what they do. And what's going on. Yeah? It's like they're following a particular script. It's a generational one. Yeah? And, you know, these blue bloods, these aristocrats just been around for hundreds of years. They, like I said, they have their own code of conduct. They live in their world of their own. Yeah? Where they've got their own rules and regulations. Yeah? And they see poor people as serf, as peasants. Yeah? Or lesser than. This is what's happening. And, you know, a lot of these leaders, whether they want to be a part of it or not, they're part of it. They're part of it. They've signed up to it. Yeah? And they keep their mouth shut because they're getting paid. So we have to go through a lot of changes. But, you know, that might be alright if we can control some of these changes, because they're happening too rapid and too fast. Yeah, and we're not coping with them, and a lot of people are going to be suffering. I mean, the younger generation, unfortunately, they're not so strong mentally, they're not so strong physically. Yeah, just what I'm saying. I'm not saying that if they're in the right place, if they're in a good place, we can't build them up mentally, physically, spiritually, culturally, scientifically, whatever. We can do that. And that's what we need to do. And some of the young generation are on that level. Do you understand? We've got some real warriors out there, male and female. You understand? But unfortunately, not enough of them is coming through. Yeah? They're getting caught in the net. And that's what the internet is. The internet is a net. Why do you think they call it the net? The internet. You enter in somebody's net. You're getting trapped in there. Yeah, and the internet is a trap. It's a trap. Because now, when they do get 5G, and they do, what's it called? They're talking about this thing called IoT. In what's it called? IoT is it's to do with in all things. Yeah, they want to control everything is going to be smart technology, and they're going to want to put everything like under one central system, so they can control. Everything's going to be controlled in your house, isn't it, by one smart system, and that is going to be actually controlled by you know, some telecommunications institute or industry run by the government, and they're going to be able to watch you in your house, taking all your data storing all your data. You know, we're talking about protecting the privacy of our data. What is that nowadays? There is no privacy. They talk about privacy, but they're not really doing anything, are they? They're not really protecting it. They're giving away all your information and stealing it as well. Yeah? Alright, so I talked about, you know, they're going to, you know, we're looking at, they're going to be making smart towns. And another thing is, I know I was looking at some stuff, you know, around, they're saying that they want to get Africa to start building smart cities and towns and all this. And, you know, in a way, it's good that Africa hasn't fully developed and some of these countries haven't fully developed, because now you can see that after effects or the aftermath of these smart cities and towns, yeah, that if you do decide to do something like a smart town, let's say you want a smart house, simple thing, a smart house, yeah, you got to have a backup system, yeah, and you got to make sure if you do have anything like that, you're not producing over the limited amounts of radiation or EMFs or anything that's going to cause an effect. Yeah, you have to be very, very mindful. There's no point building a smart house and then all these smart gadgets and all of this stuff, and then you're going to kill your children. If you want to kill yourself, fine, but don't kill your children, please. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? You need to know what you're putting in your house, how you're going to build your house with all this smart technology. Yeah. All right, so I kind of touched on a little bit about vaccines, touched on a little bit about radiation, EMF, and we touched on talking about the flu vaccines and things like that. Yeah, we need to be careful of, like I said, they're pushing out a lot of stuff. Yeah, and because people are not being properly informed, yeah, I think that if you just be honest, innit? Just say if something's wrong. Allow people to make their own decision. Just say, oh well, you know, these vaccines, they can cause problems, blah blah blah. But you know what I'm saying? But you know, we're just giving it out to you anyway. There's been reports that there's been studies that there's been an increase in influenza. Okay, there's been an increase in flu, and that more people are dying from it than ever. And you have to ask the question, if they're giving people all these vaccines, in some cases they're forcing people to take these vaccines, the flu vaccines, the flu jab, that how comes there's an increase in influenza? And everybody knows that, anybody that knows anything about the flu jab knows that it's a virus that's going to give you the flu. It's the flu virus, they're giving it to you. That's the trick. But they don't tell you this. Yeah? Alright? Alright, so look. So much more information to go through. I can't really express it enough. And I want to say thank you for the time and energy. And yeah, just keep an eye on what's going on out there, innit? Like I said, it's not here to cause alarm, but we're living in a toxic, highly toxic environment. It's really dangerous. Your food, your water, the air, you know, protect yourself, protect your family. Jumbo, I'm out.